Hi, this is Rekha, and I'm Gabby. Join us all summer long as we're on the hunt for local businesses and amazing hidden gems in our beautiful cities of Edmonton and Fort McMurray, which this totally isn't. Tune in, because this is RNG in the 780.
Hi guys, this is Rekha from RNG in the 780. Right now we are sitting with Marie from House of Curves, and it's just like a lovely day. But we're out here celebrating some awesome feats for local businesses and featuring Marie herself. So Marie, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I am Marie Hutchison. I am the owner of House of Curves Canada. We are an inclusive, plus size only, plus size boutique here in Edmonton. So our first store is down here, which is where we are right now in Mercer Market. We've been open since April. And yeah, we're just trying to get out there with the plus size girls.
Definitely. I mean, it's a really important thing to be as inclusive as possible in the fashion industry. Can you tell us a little bit about inclusivity and what it means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course I'm a plus size lady. I have been my whole adult life, I think probably since I was 20. I have been shopping. I love shopping. Shopping is like one of my absolute favorite pastimes. My mom and I have been shopping together every weekend since I can remember. So I've always loved shopping, but of course, as a lot of plus size girls can relate to, there is just really not a lot of plus size clothing boutiques out there. There's definitely not really any like small local businesses that are plus size. I've had lots of problems trying to access clothes that are in my size, that are cool, that are trendy, and I just really feel like I really wanted to try to bring that out for all of the ladies. When we originally started, there was a store that was like a big box kind of plus size store. It was a really cool store. It started bringing in like a lot of really like trendy, cool brands, Adidas, Levi's. Like there was a bunch of really cute stuff that was coming in. And then for some reason, I think it maybe had something to do with the pandemic. That store closed. And I was like, oh my God, I genuinely was concerned about like, where am I going to shop?
Yeah.
And especially where am I going to shop in person? Because shopping in person, I feel like, and I don't know about you, but for me as a plus size girl, I really like shopping in person. Online is just like so, can be so challenging.
It's not the same kind of experience as actually getting to be in a store and getting to feel fabrics. Especially for me, I really like to know what it's going to feel like on my skin, right? You want something that's comfortable, that can breathe, right? Especially through the seasons. Like I think it's a huge deal to be able to offer different kinds of clothings to people in a wide range, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we're seeing now more and more over the course of the last couple of years for sure, there's a lot of places that have been providing plus size in store. And then, I don't know how many, probably of half a dozen that I can name have started to pull back their plus size clothing from the stores.
Oh.
So like there's a couple of bigger box stores that were saying, okay, we're going to be plus size, and they would bring like a whole like plus size marketing campaign out. And then I don't know if it's because there wasn't enough people purchasing the clothes. I'm not sure exactly the motivation behind it, but they have kind of like really idled back on the plus size clothing in store, which it's not fun at all because, you can't go shopping. There's people that I've seen on my Instagram feeds, like influencers, non-influencers, a lot of plus size women who will go out into the mall and be like, okay, I'm going to go buy something, like the other day, I want to go buy a bridal dress. So come along with me on this journey. And then skip to 5 minutes later where that same influencer is on their phone talking to their people saying, hey guys, I couldn't find anything because this store doesn't have plus size anymore and this store doesn't have plus size anymore. So the inclusivity aspect of it is like really huge for me. I just really want women and plus size women to be able to have like a super positive experience and like have access to clothes and come into the store and feel amazing and leave with something that they feel really great in, that they look really cool in, you know, that they don't have to sacrifice the fashion because they can't fit into things. So yeah, that's kind of like our hugest goal here, is just to make sure that we have women come into the store and feel amazing and feel like they can be included and they can have that experience just like everybody else.
And that's super important because, I mean, like, I get to go into any store and find my size. Like, it's very easy for me to be like, I know what this is going to look like on me. I can sometimes even look at a shirt and be like, I don't need to try this on. But it's not going to be the same for everyone, right? So having that experience, like, you start to realize is actually quite the privilege because of what is available and what is made unavailable all of a sudden because, oh, well, the numbers don't add up.
Yeah.
But people aren't numbers, right? We need to have the availability to go in with any of your girlfriends, any of your male friends, anybody, regardless of their size or age or taste in clothing, to be able to find something that's for them, right?
Yeah, and I think it's like a very complex relationship that women have with clothing, and especially plus size women, or I'm just speaking from my own experience. If you were to commit to bringing in plus size clothes, maybe some of these stores aren't getting the customers or the amount of consumers they expected because there's so many women that just expect that they can't find it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, we haven't gotten all the numbers we thought we were going to get. Well, it's because there's so many people that just expect that it's not there. And, you know, they've kind of, I guess, resorted to ordering, you know, maybe online where they're not necessarily happy, or going to the stores that they don't really love. Like, you know, it's really complicated to be able to have that experience in store. So it's possible that, you know, they just need to take the time to make the commitment and make like a real long-term commitment to women that are plus size, so that they can actually like have that experience and then continue to have the same repeated positive experience in store over and over again, without it just being like a one-off and then, oh, okay, well, it's gone now. Sorry about that. So yeah, I find it really tough because I talk to a lot of women, obviously, and I have tons of experiences with women who have come into the store and they're just like so excited, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is in my size, and I can't believe I have, like, the other day there was actually a lady in here who was probably in her mid 50s.
Okay.
And she was in the store. She was with her daughter and she was going through and like, okay, I like this and I like this and I like this. And she came out of the change room and every single thing that she had tried on. And she was like, oh my God, like, what is this like being in the store and having every single thing that I wanted to try on was in my size and it fit me. And then she was like, I don't even know how to pick. Like, so many people are trying to, you know, oh, this is the oversized fit, or this is the one thing they have in that one style in my size. Like, those kind of experiences are exactly why people don't go back to plus size stores, or don't go back to stores that have some plus size, because they haven't had a great experience. So, I mean, it's so amazing to have those kind of experiences with the customers, because it just is like super fulfilling, and it really brings me back to the real reason why we wanted to start doing this. And like, it makes me feel like I'm actually contributing something that, you know, to someone's day and someone's, you know, many days ahead, because they get to put on that stuff and they get to feel really great and, you know, go out into the world and put on a positive face because they actually feel incredible about themselves.
Oh, big time. I mean, like, just being able to say, like, these are the things that I don't want, you know, actually being able to eliminate things based off of, like, this is the best, this was okay, versus I can only pick this because that's the only thing that fits.
Yeah.
Right? So going from literally being limited by size and just being like, I just chose not to get this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that should be normal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I see a lot more on my Instagram personally of a lot more like wider range of clothing sizes with certain companies. Like, I've definitely noticed some of the full-figured models are coming out with collaborations with clothing brands.
Absolutely.
And when I see what they're wearing, I'm like, I need that in my size.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing stopping me from, you know, as a petite woman being like, oh, well, I can't wear that because it's not going to look that. No, I'm looking at him like, I want to look that hot too.
Exactly.
That's looking very nice. I want that whole like bodysuit and jean combo. I want that. I'm not worried about what it looks like on someone who's a different size than me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just loving what they're wearing regardless, because it looks bomb on them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with like how you curate your Instagram experience and how you kind of like can bring people into your like feed every day that make you feel comfortable and confident, and people that look like you. And you know, I think it really helps to, for me personally at least on my own journey, it has helped me quite a bit, because like you said, you look at these people every day, and I think for me at least, that's what's given me the courage to go out there and wear crop top when I never would have done that before. You know, at 40 I'm like, I'm wearing this crop top because I think I look amazing, and I'm going to be wearing it, and I don't really care, right? But it's like you said, all those different experiences that you have and seeing all these different people killing it, you know, that really helps boost your confidence and makes you kind of want to like try yourself.
Oh, big time. Yes.
And I love having those pieces here in the store that are accessible to people no matter what their size is.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about some of like the brands or even just like specific clothing items that you've curated so far? Like what has that journey been like?
Well, it can be tough to start, obviously. So when I started the business, I was working in oil and gas, and I had been doing that for many, many years. So I'm 40, and I just really like shopping, like I said. So I was like, okay, well, how do I start trying to find pieces and companies? And this is like mid-COVID. So there are different trade shows and places that you can go where you actually can, you know, you reach out to the company and they have specific brands in like plus sizes, and you can find them, and then you get to meet with them on a like twice a year basis. You pick the stuff you like from their collections. But when I started, this was COVID, and so I just kind of had to like hope that on some wholesale websites I was picking some really good brands, and I was really, really lucky. I've actually started off with like some really solid brands that I've been really happy with. And since then, we've started to go to some trade shows, like I said. There's a couple brands specifically that we really, really love, one of which is called Known Supply. That is an American company who is a certified B Corporation. They're basically 100% sustainable. That one is incredible. This is their second season doing plus size. They have really committed to be inclusive as well. So they started off up to 3X. They were actually amazing because we worked with them a little bit on the first collection. They had sent some sizes over and some items for our first fall collection. They didn't quite fit right. They were a little too small, maybe like a little bit too, you know, just different dimensions and things weren't really working. And we kind of gave them some feedback. They took that and they really ran with it. So this season they've like really blown it up. They've like hit it out of the park. I love everything that they've done. So I'm wearing one of their dresses right now. Everything is 100% organic cotton. They're just beautiful. And they've actually extended up to 4X this season, which is amazing.
Awesome.
Yes. So we love them. We have some really incredible brands for our hats. It's called Ace of something. They're 100% Australian wool. They're just like, mwah, beautiful. It's a little bit of an investment piece, but those kind of things it can't go wrong.
No, especially with something that's sustainably made and made with natural fibers. Like you want those quality items that are going to last you a really long time for staples, right? You don't want to go through your clothes every year. I mean, number one, that's going to be hard on the wallet. Amazing to go shopping. For my anyone who knows me knows that I will always have an excuse as to why I'm allowed to shop.
Same.
And I will double down on that. I need it. You know, so it's just a thing. You need your staples that you know you're never going to get rid of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, if anything really happens, you can always, you know, gift it, inherit it to someone, right? Repurpose it.
I think that's part of like kind of what we're trying to do too, which I really love about some of the brands we're working with. There's a really cool Canadian-owned athletic wear brand that we're hoping. I'm sure we're going to have a meeting tomorrow. I'm hoping to have them set up for the fall, which is really cool. We love the women-owned businesses. But we do kind of have like, you know, a good scale in terms of pricing as well. So there are a few pieces that are like, you know, the hats and like a few more higher end resort wear type dresses that are a little higher in the price range. But we try to start kind of low. So we do have some pieces you could leave here for 25, 35, 45, 50 in like a really cute, super nice staple for the season. And then we also kind of go up into the approximately around 100, under 100. So I think that's like pretty accessible for everyone too.
It is, yeah.
Especially when you're talking in terms of like some sustainability. I know that like, you know, fibers and different types of materials and stuff, they can be really expensive. So we're really trying to work with brands, and as we get going, like we started and it was like kind of, you know, what are we doing? How do we do this? I think everybody starts off like that. Yeah. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're an expert, but really it's just like everyone's just figuring it out every day.
Yeah, exactly. You're constantly trying to learn, constantly trying to like keep up to date. I mean, by the time you learn something, it's already done half the time, right? So it's already on to the next thing, and you can spend like 10 hours accidentally, you know, jumping through that rabbit hole, just like, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and now it's like part of you at that point, right? You can do all of that research, but sometimes you just gotta give yourself a break and just be like, this is what I know right now, and this works for me right now until I can learn something new. Like, what has that been for you, trying to, you know, educate yourself on like brands and sustainability? What has that been like for you?
Oh my God, it's sometimes can be really challenging. Because obviously there's like a fast fashion versus slow fashion kind of conversation going on quite a bit right now.
Yes.
That's tough, because I think when it comes to, like we said, accessibility, like not everyone can afford to buy something that's $150, you know, a pair of pants that are linen or whatever, you know. But we've kind of like tried, and we've been really, really lucky as we've gone through. I can get, you know, I'm meeting other small business owners who make really great connections on a regular basis, and they share that information with us. I think like the small business community in Edmonton is incredible. I'm so happy to be part of it. But we've just tried to like reach out to sales reps and like ask the right questions and try to really do the best we can to make, you know, the most informed decisions. And I think it's getting better as we go. And as much as I say, like, people are taking plus size out of the stores, I feel like there are some brands and like little cute boutique brands that I haven't seen elsewhere that we're able to access and that are really making the right efforts in the right places. So yeah, it's just a matter of like really trying hard to put the research in and making sure that you're connecting with like kind of legitimate people, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
It can be hard because I think, I don't know, it's just, there's so many options. There's so many like vendors, there's so many wholesale websites and all these kind of things. But for us personally, we're trying to stick with like a few core brands. So maybe 5 or 6 core brands, which we know the quality is good. We know that we're dealing with some really good sustainable companies. And so that's like where we're starting from the base. And, you know, as we grow, hopefully, we'll hopefully be able to continue to do that.
Yes, that's amazing. And I understand that you've collaborated with other local businesses as well. Can you tell us a bit about that too?
Oh, yes, of course. So here in Mercer, we have a few other small businesses. And at this moment, Tiku Jewelry is another one. And we've become really great friends. We're just like little neighbors next door. So right now, we are doing a collaboration on a really cool necklace, which I'm wearing right now. It's called the Bodacious. For all the bodacious booty ladies out there. This is on a 24-inch chain. We also have this new chain that she's brought in. That's a 20-inch chain here. So part of the reason why we decided to do this was, you know, plus size women have some struggles in other areas. I've had a few people coming in, you know, looking at a few accessories and kind of struggling because not only is it hard to find clothes in their size, but it's also hard to find jewelry in their size. So TT, who's the owner of Tiku, and I were having a conversation one day. She had a couple of women come to her at a market and ask for extended chains. And she was like, oh my God, we really need to do a collab because of course there's a need for, you know, a longer chain for a plus size woman. And it's the same kind of experience that everybody's had. You know, you go into the store and you try to find clothes and you can't find them in your size. You know, you go to the jewelry store and you want to find something, or you see them in a market or whatever the case. It all kind of lines up. It's all the same experience, right? So it's going to be so cute. I'm really excited. We have a couple of other chains other than these two as well. And we should have those launching sometime in July. So
awesome.
I know I'm really excited. And honestly, the ladies who, I've met, like I said, have just been so incredible. And it's interesting as like a small business owner because it's such a crazy world. You know, you're just trying to figure it out every day. And like, it's really nice to have friends and like people who you have stuff in common with that you can talk to regularly and bounce ideas off of. And it's like incredible that we get to collaborate. So I'm really pumped about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like at the same time, you're also like helping your fellow business owner kind of like open up their size ranges as well, right? So it's not just that they're coming to you, but they're also being able to go to other people because of, you know, just a simple interaction of let's do this. Let's make this happen. Right?
Exactly. And I think like the more that people will see it, it's the same thing as, you know, us being in markets. When we go to markets, we do a lot of markets around in the scene. You know, they see our store and they're like, oh my God, we didn't even know you existed. This is incredible. Like, it's just things that people just don't, it's amazing to be able to come together and bring something out that is going to make, you know, someone's day better and make someone feel like that much more included and feel like that much more connected because, you know, people are thinking of you and you're not an afterthought. You're part of the conversation and you're amazing and it doesn't matter what your size is. Like, we all deserve all of these things. So it's really cool. I'm excited.
Like this should be normal.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said this too many times where I feel like this should be something that, you know, should just be in your social media. It should just be in your billboards. It should just be there because I find that it's very much there in my social media.
Yeah.
I mean, like having all the different sizing and seeing jewelry that's always like, you know, this is available in, you know, like a choker style, a longer style, right? And it just, to me, it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But then you realize when you talk to people who are outside of that kind of community, that kind of mindset, that it's just something that they've never really thought of.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like, I feel like because I've been plus size my whole life, but I've always been kind of like on the smaller end of plus size. So like a 16, 18, I would say. And I'm up to like about a size 20 right now. And I feel like it's just it's sad because the world is kind of like, it's very fat phobic. Like there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of places and things and like things that are just really not accessible to people that are of a bigger size. And I feel like I'm kind of feeling it more so now, like I said, because I've gotten bigger in the last couple of years. And I feel like you don't realize it until you're really looking for it. You know what I mean? Like you don't realize that there's like even the smallest thing of like going out and buying a chain, like going to markets when there's women who see that we have a plus size booth in a market. It's like mind blowing to some people. The fact that they walk by and they see the name, oh, here's House of Curves Canada. It's actually like, oh, that must be for me. Like I'm a curvy girl. And I'm like, yes, it is. Like, it's just, you know, it's so cool because those things are literally not accessible. And it's like, you just think of all the things like the jewelry, the clothing, the, you know, sitting in a concert trying to fit into the seat. Like there's so many things that, you know, I'm realizing more so now that are coming to the forefront for me as I kind of like journey through my sort of like body acceptance journey. And it's sad. And I think the more we can collaborate together and the more that we can like really bring it out, the better it will be for everyone. Because I just genuinely don't think people even realize, you know, how this world is made, like what this world is like and what it's like for someone who's bigger to like live in the world. You really feel excluded. So, you know, it's an incredible thing for me to be able to provide that. I'm really excited to be able to partner with other companies that want to like really make a difference and make a change. And then hopefully one day people won't feel like they're on the outside.
Because it'll just be part of everything. Like you won't have to worry about, well, am I going to be able to, is this accessible to me? And I really am excited for when it's not about pushing accessibility, but it's just part of it. Like it's just a natural thought of like, oh, am I making sure that my space is comfortable? It'll just be comfortable. And I really think that right now that people are opening up the conversation, that's like such an amazing and beautiful start. But then having people like you who are like, I got this.
Totally.
Like I may not know everything, but I'm making it happen. And I think that is really important right now, especially coming out of a pandemic, right? I mean, that's the hot topic all the time. Is coming out of a pandemic where people are realizing like, yeah, I had a great time before, but now I'm more in tune with who I am and what I really want.
Yeah, how I want to really make myself happy, what things that are actually important, and like maybe, you know, all of those like kind of vanity things are not as much in the conversation as they were once, right? I think even for me, just like being part of this industry now and like starting off, I kind of felt like, oh, I got this covered. Like I've always been confident, you know, if I change sizes over my life, I would go get a bigger size. Like I've never felt like, I've always been told, and it's been ingrained in me through my parents, that it's okay to be whoever you are. And that's just my old hippie parents that are like, you know, and it's great and I love it.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are like that. And then when I started this business, I was like, oh my God, I'm totally fine. I'm great. But then when you really start to like really do the work inside and think, okay, well, I'm great, but am I great enough that I'm going to walk out in a 2-piece? Or am I great enough that I'm going to wear a crop top with a pair of jeans? Or, you know, am I going to wear that outfit that I know looks so trendy and cute and I deserve because that's what's going to make me feel good? Am I going to really do it? Like, am I really going to commit? And this whole last year and a half, it has really changed me. And I'm so excited, and like, I feel so lucky that, you know, it's so hard and it is a challenge. And I deal with fat phobia all the time, and I deal with fat phobic comments in the store and people and markets and things like that. But I think if you're good with yourself, and if you can surround yourself with people who make you kind of feel comfortable with who you are no matter what, then, you know, you can kind of do anything, and you can kind of forget about all that noise and not really worry too much about, you know, how much, you know, what someone's going to think of you just because you're not a size 5, you know?
Yeah, just because you're not exactly what they want you to be. It's like, why are you so worried about what is it going on in my life? Like, unless you're my friend and you're like, you know, I want you to be happy. It's like, okay, great. But I can be happy no matter what I look like.
Absolutely.
Really, right? We don't have to get into sizism, right? It doesn't have to be about what the picture will look like if a certain person is in there. I mean, if the dress is nice, the dress is nice.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like nobody calls you out. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, sometimes there's like trolls on social media who will say some things to us.
Because they think they're funny, but they're not.
Or they're just like very insecure. Like my first thought in that whole kind of interaction with somebody online, I don't really pay it any mind, but at the same time, it's kind of like, wow, I kind of feel sorry that you are that sad that you feel like you should do that.
Yeah.
And I don't really think people care, you know, in outside of like some experiences like that, I genuinely don't think people care. Like, you go out and you do what you do and you want to be comfortable and you want to be you. You want to express yourself and be you and be who you are. And nobody's like, I've never had someone point at me and be like, oh my God, you're wearing a crop top. Like, it's never happened. Yeah. And I always feel like a bombshell. You know?
Yes, yes. That's the main point, is loving what you're wearing, wearing fabric that makes your skin feel good. That's a big thing for me. And then even just like, who cares about what someone else is wearing, as long as they're happy.
Exactly.
Like that's, I think that's so important.
Yeah, I've had actually also like great experiences in the store. So like, you know, let's say we're kind of, what kind of size, like what kind of age group are we, like what's our demographic, I guess, is a question that some people ask. And I think we're kind of aiming for like 25 to 45, I guess, or 50. But I've had people in the store who have been like 20 and they've come in and found something amazing, up to like 65 and they've come in and found something amazing. So I think everybody's able to find something in the store, you know, where they feel great.
Yeah. I mean, you have some really nice staple pieces in here, and you also have some really nice things that are like on trend, but they will be on trend next year. Totally. Also, you know, it's that whole idea of slow fashion that you were mentioning, and really making sure that these are things that people can wear forever. Yeah. I kind of wanted to even show one of the pieces. Sure. Was that t-shirt dress, I think?
Oh yeah, that one is incredible. And also, every single person that tries this on, I'm not kidding, from like, I've had straight size ladies buy this dress and love it, and I've had plus size ladies buy this dress and love it. This is from Known Supply. Again, 100% organic cotton. Oh, I love the slit. So cute. Yes. It like snatches at the exact right place in the waist, and it looks so beautiful on everyone. I love it so much. The pattern is like a little sundial kind of pattern.
Very pretty.
What's really cool about this brand is that in every piece. So like I said, they're all sustainable. It's called Known Supply. They're sustainable, fair trade. Being a certified B Corporation means that they have really strict guidelines in terms of like their processes, procedures, sustainability. They get audited a couple times a year. The parent company of this, I believe, is Whole Foods. And if you look, every piece, let's see what side it's on. Every piece that we get in from them has, wherever it is, it's hiding in this dress, but it's a little tag that will show you the actual maker.
I know you found it. Oh, here, I think I see it. It's on your side here.
There you go.
There we go.
So it shows you like the actual maker's name specifically, which is really cool.
There we go.
So that's the maker's name, and then if you flip it, there's a QR code on the back, and that actually takes you directly to the website, and you can meet that maker. So that specific person and their profile is on their website. All of the profiles for all of the makers that work with this company is on the website, and it's like just so cool.
I love the feel of the fabric as well. Like I definitely have personally been trying to focus on a lot of natural fibers in my closet. I mean, there's obviously going to be the 1 or 2 pieces that I'm like, it feels so nice. I need to have it, right? Especially with trying to, you know, shop sustainably and responsibly, right? So it's nice to go with the natural fibers that are accessible to everyone, regardless of price, regardless of size, and still be flattering as well, because you want to feel hot.
Yes.
I want to be hot no matter
we're
what,
all hot.
right?
This is also an Own Supply dress that I have on. The company is like super cool. They started just like their whole journey. There's TED Talks about it all over the place. They started doing some work with some people in Uganda. They did a crochet hat thing for a while, which I think they still do. But they're just like super cool, and yeah, we're trying really hard to get, you know, partnered with some other really incredible companies like this as well, so that we can do our best to kind of contribute.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what is the size range on this, just so people have an idea of what to expect?
Yes. So our size range goes from 1X to 4X. Known Supply is the brand that goes all the way up to 4X. We have another line coming in the fall that will go up to size 26, and then some of our other ones will go 1X to 3X, so probably like a 16 to about an 18, 20. And again, we're trying to get as many brands as we can that will extend past 3X. That can also be a little bit challenging, but yeah, if you're coming in, there's going to be anything from a 1X. Some things fit a little bit smaller, so if you're in like the more mid-size range, X would probably work for a few, and then up all the way up to like a 4X, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, can you also, I guess we're wrapping it up for now.
Walk around.
Oh yes, I see. Yes. So we're gonna do a little walk around here.
Yeah.
Don't mind our lighting
setup
here, but we're gonna walk around, and we'll be right back as right after this little cut here. Hi guys, and we are back. Again, this is Rekha from R&G in the 780, here with Marie from House of Curves Canada.
Hi.
So Marie, can you give us a little idea of where the House of Curves Canada comes from, the name itself?
Yes. So my girlfriends and I were talking about my business and trying to come up with like some ideas and just like brainstorming. I have a few other plus size friends. So we were sitting around one night, and we were drinking a little bit of champagne.
Love.
Just a couple glasses. And it was just really like literally a brainstorming like back and forth, and we were talking about different like curvy, and we wanted it to be like representative in some way of like plus size women, but we also wanted to be kind of like chic, you know, like House of Gucci, House of Curves, like, you know, something that was like really upscale and, you know, like a really like classy kind of name. So House of Curves Canada is what we came up with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Well, could you maybe give us a little tour of what to expect when people come in?
Yes. So we're in Mercer Market. So if you take a look this way, we're just down the hall. Bijou is down up at the top above us. And this is our little bay. It's kind of like a little storage unit. Really cute. In we go. So we have this way.
Yes, let's go this way.
So yeah, we have all of our clothes through here. We have like lots of jeans. I have like a ton of skirts. Really beautiful little like sweater vibes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, like a loosey kind of like over the bathing suit type of after the lake kind of thing. We have some really gorgeous maxi dresses. We have just like dresses galore for the summer.
Yeah.
Like so many dresses. I love it. These are also some really, really beautiful known supply pieces. Again, kind of like a little wrap sort of like shirt.
The nice matching set. I have to
Matching
we have
set.
to show this.
Who doesn't want a
especially,
matching set?
Like to be able to have access to,
isn't that adorable?
like this is great.
And if you don't like shorts,
then full on pants.
Yes. I know, these are so cute. Everyone loves it. Seriously, like you said, I've had girls that have come in and they will be like, oh my God, can I get that set? Like just having that, it's really, really cool. Anyway,
It's
people are
great
into
for
it.
when you're traveling, right? Or
Yeah.
even just like to feel really cute going to the market. You have your matching set. Like the girls who have a matching set, they have their lives together.
Yes, they do.
And
Yeah.
I need to know your secrets.
Another
you
level.
know?
That's another
Like,
level. Yes. So then we have, again, like a bunch of new dresses, denim. We have two brands in denim right now. Judy Blue is one of the like most popular, I would say. And then Risen is another one. So we're doing a few little
very cute.
non-skinny versions.
Yes.
I know people are scared of non-skinny because it feels like it's gonna like drag. I'm 40, so like back in the day when we were wearing our like, it would get all on the ground and it's like a whole huge mess. But anyway, these are adorable. They're so stretchy, really cute, and you can't be scared because it's like hip and chic and it looks really good.
I love this.
Yeah, they're very good quality. They have a lot of stretch.
Yeah.
You know, they're comfortable. They're kind of high-waisted. So we have a couple of these sort of, what do you call it? Wide leg, which are adorable. Again, hats. I'm obsessed with all these hats. They just like killed it this season with these beautiful, like,
Oh, that's lovely.
oh my God. This is absolutely gorgeous.
So this is that Australian wool you were talking
yeah,
about?
so this is Ace of Something brand.
This
It is
lovely. Oh my
beautiful.
gosh.
And we actually got a couple, I think it's got a 58 centimeter. So some people have a problem. I mean, it doesn't matter what your size is. Your head can be bigger. And I have a big head. So I could only like try one of them last season, which was that one. But yeah, we got a couple that are like a bigger circumference. So this is one of them. It's like so cute. Love it. We have, just a whole bunch of, like I said, again, a bunch of dresses. The rompers from Known Supply, they have like outdone themselves this season.
Oh, that's adorable.
Look at this. So I've had this on a couple times. If you are a plus size girl and you don't think you can pull this off, I've had this on at a couple markets and I've literally had women who are like, oh my God, I didn't think I could pull that off. But like seeing you in that, it looks so cute. And yeah, I love that we have these. This goes up to a 4X again. We have it in kind of a wash black. This is so cute.
Another
style,
lovely.
same.
Yes.
I have to put them up because it's too long for the floor. Look how cute that is.
That's wonderful.
Organic cotton, wash. You can wash and dry. I don't really dry everything, but you can wash and dry it.
That makes it a lot easier. Like I am definitely the kind of person who's like, okay, if I have to dry clean it, I will.
Yeah.
But I will try to get away with not.
Yeah, exactly. And if you accidentally throw it in the dryer, like it's not going to kill your outfit. So
Exactly.
those are absolutely gorgeous. Love them. I have some, like I said, there's kind of a price range that goes like, up a little high. I have some really beautiful resort style dresses for this summer. These ones range like $175 to something, but they're gorgeous patterns. They do a pattern like once a season and then they don't repeat it, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be like a unique piece that, not a lot of people will have. And these ones go up as well to 4X. They're a little bit smaller fit though, so I usually size up a little bit for this one, but.
Yeah, no, this pattern honestly even like is still part of that slow fashion that you were mentioning because this will still be lovely next year.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
These colors will still be beautiful summer or
And, like, the
spring
details.
colors. Oh.
Exactly.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that pretty?
lovely.
Yeah. Love. And this is just the type of thing that like genuinely, I don't really remember. Like I'm happy to have this brand because I don't remember there ever being something like this that I could buy, Like when some ladies are looking at it, like again, in a plus size, they're like, oh my God, as if I couldn't get that.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cute. Love these ones. Again, so many cute Known Supply. Oh yeah.
This one as well. We must show this.
It's a shorts romper.
This is so cute. Oh, and it's
so
a
cute.
like lotus pattern.
Yes.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's adorable. This is one of the patterns I had. So the dress that I have on, they also have in like a lotus pattern, which is super cute. Same, it's like a pattern of their collection this summer. So
Totally.
really cute, adjustable too. So like if you're a little bit taller, that's always a problem because if you're shorter in plus size, it's hard to find pants. If you're taller in plus size, it's hard to find pants. So I'm really happy that they did these adjustable things this year because, you know, it can really give a little bit more length or not.
Yeah.
And then again, even if we do have the plus sizes accessible, it is also very difficult to kind of get long inseam, not like, you know, there's always, it's complicated. So
Exactly, for maximum comfort, because like you want to look great, you want to wear things that fit you well, but you also want to be comfortable in them regardless, right?
Yeah, and I love that brand too because, you know, you can dress it up. Like you can make it like a little, like this is a little bit more of a casual look, you know, a sneaker and a dress, but you could also like dress it up. It's like really versatile. And again, you could use it for like multiple seasons.
Oh yeah, and I can definitely see you being able to like implement a cute little straw hat.
Yes.
Or like one of the nice wool hats, the cute like white sneaker, right? A little like jacket of some sort.
Yeah,
And
jean
you're off
jacket
to the
maybe.
market, you know?
So cute. So then we have lots of other tees. Same Known Supply has like these really, really cute like slit tees. So
Oh, yes.
it's a little bit more cropped. So if you're into that kind of thing, and then it has the slit in the back. What I love as well is they've made a couple styles that have self-love on them. So that's really cute. I love this. I'll pair it with like a little skirt or just jeans if it's a cooler day. A skirt, like a cotton skirt, or you could even do like a maxi.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, like
and
adorable.
I think you mentioned you had some skirts over here as well.
Yes, we have this Zanana brand as one of the like sort of like lower end in terms of price point, which is amazing because some people, again, don't have as much disposable income. So this brand is great. It's really popular. The price point, this is all 100% cotton. And the price point for these ones are only like $28 for that.
It's very accessible to anyone and a great staple for your closet, really, like a black skirt that can be dressed up or dressed down.
Yeah, and we have one that's kind of a little bit different.
Ooh.
It's like a pink. This one's $44. Again, really decent price point. And it's just like a cute little...
It's got a lovely texture to it, too. It's very soft.
Ribbed.
Oh, am I feeling
slit.
a cute little
slit up the back. Yeah.
Yes. We
Isn't
love
that
a good
cute?
We love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have this, and then we also have it in a gray, which is great. Again, perfect price point, especially if you want, you know, if you haven't been working in the office for a couple years and maybe your size has changed and you need to get back in the office and have a few cute little outfits to put together, you could really genuinely get a few things in here for, you know, $100.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. A lot of the items that you have curated so far are very, very much like accessible, and they're very easy to put together or mix and match, and you can make so many outfits with so little pieces and then just have that one key piece, right?
Totally.
And it's such a huge thing, and I just like, I like that you have, like, if you want to have a distressed look, you have a distressed, like little collar here, a little bit more of a grunge, a little bit more of a like tie-dye look.
Totally,
you
or
know?
if you're into like a little, the smiley face is like a big deal these days.
Yes.
So cute. Biker shorts, these have been killing it. Yeah.
I got a pair of biker shorts, and I have to say, I love my biker shorts, and this material is really nice too.
Is apparently, I'm not a huge TikToker, I'll be honest.
I'll
admit it. But I did see that this V detail is really cute. And honestly, I had this on a black pair of these with that wrap shirt that I just had the other day. And it was so cute. A little like sneaker, wrap the thing, tank top, biker short. It was like adorable and also super comfortable.
Yes, yes. That's one of the best things about a lot of these biker shorts. You can dress them up or dress them down.
Yeah. Like it's like have you seen like a lot of the biker short like high heel looks?
Oh yes.
Maybe not my thing,
yes,
but like
yes.
that's a
like a
thing.
chunky heel, or even like an interesting like ankle boot.
Yes.
Like a heeled ankle boot.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to style that.
I honestly, like, the shopper in me is taking over and being like, wow, so you could literally cater to anyone's style at this point, and your collection is just growing even bigger.
I think so. I try to pick things that will complement each other. It's nice with a couple of the brands that have like full collections. So when we go to the trade show, you can actually pick out of the full collection and it's all very cohesive and it goes together perfectly. There's a few that I order wholesale online without seeing it ahead of time. So I try to add in the pieces, like use those as kind of like the base of the collections, and then add in some pieces that are like some athleisure, you know, a little bit more casual, a couple staple pieces that will help to like complement the rest of it. And then like you said, hopefully you can get like kind of a whole little outfit, season outfit that'll work for a bunch of different occasions.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have, again, beautiful little sweaters. This is a newer brand.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, again, like kind of, it's called Pole, so it's another brand that comes from the US. And kind of just like a easy breezy. You know how it is in Alberta.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cold.
The perfect, like it's summer, but you know, it's a summer in Alberta. So like this morning it'll be cold, but this afternoon it'll be really warm.
Exactly.
And this is perfect.
Yeah. So we have a few of these items. This is our first time trying this brand, and it turned out really great. I'm really excited about it. I think they're gorgeous.
So cute.
Yeah. Lots of people have been loving this one. Again, like I try to also bring in some pieces that are a little bit like maybe larger fit, like in terms of baggier. So this is like a little bit of an empire waist. It's a nice like kind of flowy, really soft, and like it's like a, some people would say, I don't know what you would call it, but anyway, it's like a real soft, like you can wear it with a legging, you can wear it with a jean.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a little bit of a, not dress, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a longer t-shirt kind of thing.
Like a tunic or whatever you call it, that
tunic,
kind of thing.
yes.
Yeah. So these ones are really pretty too. Some people are like super into this particular style, so we have a few of those. Again, like just these gorgeous maxi dresses.
Oh, I love a good maxi dress.
Yeah, they're so like...
That's such a good staple
Yeah.
there. Dress
And
it
it
up
has-
or dress it down again, right?
It also has pockets.
Stop. You
Yeah.
get pockets?
Yeah, I know. And what I love about this one this year is I had one like this last year, and it was a spaghetti strap, which I find some people are a little uncomfortable wearing either no bra or wearing strapless. Of course, straplesses can be like super precarious. They're not really the funnest things to wear. So I went with like the t-shirt this year. And then also what I really love about this particular style is we have this in black too. It has like a slit up both sides.
Nice.
Which is really nice to kind of give you a little more shape. So as far as like having a long tube like maxi to the ground, some people don't love that. They'll put a belt or they'll, you know, try to give it a little bit more shape. So yeah, I love this because you can knot it in the front and gives it a little more like dimension. And yeah, and then of course the pockets. It's like sells every person on every single thing. So I'm loving these. And then like the pièce de résistance for the summer, honestly, is the crop tops. These crop tops are absolutely the biggest seller of the year. I wasn't sure how people would do with a crop top. Some people are not into it. Doesn't really matter what your size is. So I did a little poll on my Instagram, and all the ladies were really into it. So we ended up getting this Zanana brand. Some say there's ones like this, I guess, like another brand at Aritzia has them. Super good price point, $38. It's like a really nice ribbed fabric, super stretchy. Not super cropped, probably just above the belly button.
I think I have a similar one that is from Aritzia as well, and it's like a nice, like it's like just below belly button kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's still really comfortable to wear, especially with a lot of jeans that are like mid-rise.
Yeah.
It's the perfect little crop.
So I got them in the black and then I got them in the green to start with, and then they just like blew up. So I got a bunch of more colors. These are the ones I have left. I think I'm debating on making this like kind of a House of Curves Canada staple for like all year.
Yes, because this is great. This is absolutely wonderful in the winter even to layer.
Yeah.
You could layer it with like a nice loose sweater. Like I know you have this sweater that I was talking about earlier. I mean, this would be lovely off the shoulder to have this kind of peek through.
100%.
Absolutely wonderful. And
Jeans, jogger.
Yeah.
You could even wear this. I had a girl actually pair this with like more of like a fancier like tapered jogger with a like a high heel boot. And think of how cute that would be.
Yes.
And then like a little peekaboo. She was the dancer, so she was like really.
I love it. Yeah. Yes.
She was really eloquent. So those are amazing and we love them. And I just love that everybody's into them. I think it's amazing that like we're just, like I said, bringing this out and forward for everybody to try and to wear and to feel good. So far, so good. So this is my little spot. I love it.
Absolutely lovely. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. It feels like home. I come back in here after my, markets and days and things when we're out of the store, and it feels so great. And, the owners of Mercer Building are incredible. They're really, really into helping small business. The startup Edmonton is here. There's another company that's coming in that's also like another kind of startup company that's going to be working in the building. There's some other really cool businesses down here, and it just feels like a nice, fun, like family of support. And it's it's been really great. I think it'll be a really good home for us for the next, hopefully, few years until we're ready to expand.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about, you mentioned like the farmers, like the markets. What are your key markets that you go to always?
So one of our best and funnest markets, it's one where we actually started, it's like our OG market that we started at, is in Sherwood Park. It's at Millennium Ridge. So it is put on by Cassidy and her crew at Niche Beauty. They're amazing. It's like the cutest little space. It's on Lakeland Drive in Sherwood Park. So it'll be happening this Thursday, and then it happens every second Thursday. We love that. Sherwood Park is amazing for us. They are really supportive of the small business community. There's lots of people that come out. We did start actually this past month with 104 Alfresco. So that one is down on the same street that we are. Incredible. Love it. And then we also work with 124 Grand Market crew.
Oh, awesome.
So we have our first couple markets coming up with them. We'll be at Manchester Square on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, I love Manchester Square.
Yeah, so we'll be there on a Saturday, and then Sunday is like 108. Like, I'm done with directions around here, but it's like downtown. So those ones are our biggest and probably our most frequent. We did actually have luck of getting into Campio Brewing's market.
Oh, Campio Brewing. Oh, that's one of my favorite places. Yes.
So this
I
is
didn't
like,
know they had a market.
Yeah, they have one like once a month through the summer. Unfortunately, they had to cancel for like their first time in 3 years last month because of the rain.
Yeah.
In Edmonton. So we will be participating in July there again. And then myself and a couple of my other small business buds are going to be at Big Valley Jamboree at their trade show, which I think is going to be incredible. There's so many people there, and I think it's going to be like a really great way to get our name out there, and also like super fun. So yeah, that's like the base of what we're doing this summer.
That's awesome. When will you be at Campio Brewing? What's the date?
I think it's the third week of July.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one's like, they're so cute. There's so many, like, I've been following them for a while, and because last summer it was like late in the summer when we started doing markets, like we were just like brand new at it. So I had been following them for a while and thinking like, oh, I wonder if we can get it in. So thankfully, my super cool small business friend TT from Tiku, she was like, hey, they're doing it. You should get in there, and he got us in, and it was yeah, we're so lucky. So I can't wait to see that one because I think it's going to be really fun and taste a couple beers probably too.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes. So can you tell us a little bit about like maybe just this wall over here? I've been meaning to ask about this.
Yes.
This
is kind of our feature collage wall. So we have one of my friends who is a photographer. Her name is Jen Hara. She did some photos for us in the fall of last year, and the Stacy is in the middle. That's one of my best friends. She is amazing. She's one of our biggest supporters. I'm lucky enough that she does photos with us on a regular. And then this is our other friend, Renata. So we did some photos with one of our collections. This is like my first photo shoot. And I was so excited. Yes. It was like the funnest. And then we have a line drawing, obviously, of a plus size body, which is really important to us. And our little affirmation, you go girl. And then we have our logo. So this is kind of just like a nice way to present some, bodies that are plus size and beautiful, and hope that people can kind of feel at home here and have like, something that looks like them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And they're wearing a lot of the pieces that you have here in store then, right?
Yeah, so these were from our fall 2021 collection. So again, we kind of do like a little bit more of a cash thing. So I don't have like a huge amount of like really fancy dresses, but you can kind of see it represented here. Yes. So again, like a cute maxi, which you can make into whatever like fancy or cash outfit, and then some athleisure wear. And then in the fall, we have a new line called Dex Plus, which is coming. They have like some gorgeous Christmas, like cutesy pieces, like sequins which are amazing. I have some jackets, like actual. Last winter, I had like a lot of people asking me because I think it's really tough to get like a nice winter jacket.
It is, yeah.
So we have them coming, and they have like some really beautiful like puffer jackets, a couple of like trench style jackets. So that'll be like a little more of like our, I guess, fancier, maybe like workwear / going out kind of, you know, more fancy wear. So we'll start with them, and that starts shipping soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
I just like, I can't get over how wonderful it is to like be in a space where it's just like, for me, I'm like, this should just be normal.
Yeah, totally.
Right? When shopping with your girlfriends and like, even just seeing a lot of these kinds of pieces in your social media, seeing them in your, like in stores, regardless of what store you're in.
Yes.
Right? And the fact that you highlight a lot of these like these styles that are meant to be like, you're meant to feel hot. It's not like what you were saying I think earlier when we were chatting, you mentioned a little bit about like outdated styles.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
And not actually being refreshed into something modern and something new, right?
Yeah, I don't really know why it seems like on a like regular basis, season after season, some of these lines have a tendency to do like the cold shoulder, which is like the cutout shoulder. Or there's a lot of like floral. Like I like a floral, don't get me wrong, this is floral, but this is like a cute, you know, there's a way to do it so that it's like in touch with the current trends. And then I think there's a way to do it where it's really outdated and not like that flattering. So I feel like we are trying to make it just like what everybody else is wearing. You know, I'm not sure, like I said, why people have a tendency to, or some of these companies have a tendency to do the same old thing, like the skull t-shirt or like the, you know, like, again, there's ways to do it where it looks cool and it's fun, but I feel like, again, this kind of all circles back to why maybe people don't go out and shop for plus size clothing as much, and why they feel that they need to like tailor back on their size accessibility. And maybe it's because they've never gone out to a place and found like really cute stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, there's brands here that we carry that I genuinely think there's maybe like 1 or 2 boutiques in Edmonton that have these lines as well. But some of the brands like people have never even heard of, you know, and it's because those are the brands that like, there are a lot of US based, like some of the feedback I've gotten from a couple sales reps that I've dealt with that deal primarily with US brands have said that there is like a little bit more accessibility in the US for some of the plus size brands. And I'm definitely finding that in terms of getting stuff from suppliers, that a lot of stuff comes from the US. And of course there's some that, you know, isn't maybe my thing, but there are like a lot of really cool, stylish brands that we can get access to. So I'm not sure why people don't do it. You know, I want to look cool, just like you want to look cool.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know,
being able to have the same styles, just make them in a different size.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that hard, right?
I think it's also interesting because there's like this whole conversation about like, what is the reason why sometimes plus size clothing is more expensive? Because you can make oversized, but you don't make plus size.
Right.
Which is strange and weird to me. I find like, again, I've been really lucky because I really feel like the brands that we have and that we're bringing in are very accessible, and like financially speaking, it's not a huge difference between like what maybe my sister might buy at a smaller size versus what I'm buying. But yeah, I don't know why that is. I don't know why people feel like they need to spend, like they think they have to spend more money on plus size clothing. Like it's also a whole huge market that is like untapped. You know, I think it's really interesting that as like companies who just they want to make money, like what is it that makes you feel that you need to like completely center out that whole market? You know, like when you look at a percentage of people who are plus size, there's like so many plus size people in the world. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to give people what they want.
Right.
You know?
Why not have a product that you know is going to fly off the shelves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if it's something like very versatile, a staple in your closet, something that's very flattering, something that is made for this year and, you know, the future years even, right?
Yeah.
This whole idea that it has to be this shape because you want to cover. It's like, what are you trying to cover?
Yeah.
Right? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, totally. Like there's a lot of like, you know, you can do a flowy thing and it's really cute. And of course, like I love this dress. I think it's amazing on me.
I think it's adorable.
It's really cute. But then I also really want to wear the thing that's like form fitting and I want to show myself off. Right. So yeah, I really believe that like what we're trying to present here is what I feel like women want. And then I'm also really, open to suggestions. So like, what do people want to see? Like, I would love to hear from our followers or from anybody who's, watching this. Like, what is it that you guys want to see? Like, is there brands that you think you might want to try to get your hands on? Like, if we are able to access that stuff, like, we would absolutely love to. I think learning in a business and also being kind of on a day-to-day with customers has helped me like so much in figuring out what people want. Like, what do you want? Tell me. I would love to make even more things accessible. And, the demographic maybe in Edmonton is different from in Calgary, or is different from wherever. So if you're here and you're local and you want to know, if we can get something for you, then I would love to hear from everybody.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be wonderful. I'm sure that there are people at home who are like, I really liked this brand, but I don't want to order it just to send it back.
Totally.
Or I want to know what it feels like, because they're like, for me, I very much need to, if you haven't noticed, I like to touch materials a lot. I need to know what it's going to feel like on my skin, and I need to be comfortable with it. And you can't do that if you're shopping online.
Absolutely. Coming in store, I think, has been like a game changer for us. When we first started, we were trying to be primarily online. So that was November 2020. And then in August 2021, we were contacted by Niche Beauty to try to do a market. And we were like, okay, like, what does that mean? But let's do it. So we ended up signing up for it. It was a disaster because it was so windy, and we had like these super crappy Amazon like racks, and everything like fell over. Anyway, it was terrifying. But anyway, we did it, and it changed the game for me because everyone was all into it. Like, at first I was thinking, oh no, I don't think people want this. Like, it was really slow trying to be online only. But as I'm seeing now, the more we actually have in-person shopping, it has like astronomically changed the game for us. Like, it really does feel like a viable business for us, because people just love seeing stuff in person. They love trying it on in person. They love to have like the ability to see what size it is. Sizing is so abstract. People think I'm usually a size 20. Okay, so maybe, but you could also be in this brand, maybe a size 18. You could be a size 22. Like, things you just really don't know unless you try them on in person. And I think that's a huge game changer for us. So I love the fact that people can come and shop in person. Like, I think, like you said, you don't know how you're going to return it. You don't know what the policies are. You don't know how to get it there. There's lots of complicated things. And in-person shopping is fun.
It is.
And I love shopping with people.
It's a real experience, right? That you can do with your friends. It's really wholesome. Makes you feel like you're bonding with your friends, which is why I say I'm allowed to shop. So, just, putting it out there, I'm allowed to shop.
Absolutely.
But, it's not a problem.
No, not at all.
We're going out.
Keep to Instagram and our Facebook. You can shop with us in person here at Mercer Market. We're here Tuesdays through Saturdays, 12 till 6. And we have a little bit of options at Unite in Kingsway Mall, which is like a shared collaborative space in Kingsway. So yeah, that's where you can find us. And at whatever market. So if you check our Instagram, we are always at markets. And if we are not here, we are at a market.
Beautiful. And I mean, you mentioned that Campio Brewing Market, I think, would be a wonderful way to spend your afternoon
100%.
With friends and just shop around, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the R in RNG in the 780. We'll see you guys next time. Hi guys, this is Rekha from RNG in the 780. Today we are downtown, just off of Jasper Ave on 108th Street, and we are going to be looking at Libertine Fragrance today. Today we're going to be talking to Josh, so he is the founder and creator of Libertine Fragrance. Hi there.
Hey.
All right. So this is where we are today. We're going to be doing a walkthrough shortly after talking to Josh a little bit about Libertine. So.
Hi there.
All right, let's head on in. All right. So Josh, would you mind just introducing yourself to everyone, letting them know a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Josh Smith. I'm the perfumer and founder for Libertine Fragrance. It's a Edmonton-based unisex perfume company. I started it almost 8 years ago, and have been slowly building up this sort of perfume world that I'm creating.
Awesome. And what kind of led you into the perfume world?
Yeah, so I was never, to be honest, like a huge perfume fan prior to actually starting to make it. That really captivated my attention. I had, growing up when I was, I think, maybe 17 or 18, had bought a bottle of cologne at the base, or something like that, and that was kind of it, and it never really captured me. The stuff that I was finding on the market never really captured me. But then I moved to Edmonton from Red Deer to go to forestry school. So I was studying to work in the forest and work in logging operations, that sort of thing, but realized midway through that I'm kind of a city kid. And yeah, so to finish that, realized I'm not going to do this as a full-time career. I didn't really want to move up to kind of northern Alberta to spend my time in the forest on the weekend. After that, I was realizing, the creative side of me was being maybe ignored a bit, and it's something I wanted to invest in. So I enrolled in school for design at the U of A, and it was actually through the design program that I had gotten interested in scent and scent making, and started exploring that. And that was then marrying the sort of design practice with perfume making was how Libertine Fragrance was born.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And where does the name Libertine Fragrance come from?
So I guess because I wasn't particularly interested in the perfume world, I just found the marketing kind of like, it's a lot of like big fancy yachts and like rippled abs and things. And I just found there's so much more interesting stories that we can talk about, and more personal stories. So I guess I was just seeing it as sort of, especially at the start myself, I guess being a little like rebellious to the main current of the industry. So libertine is a word, comes from like the late 1800s that means like one who sort of shirks against the societal norms of the culture. And so yeah, I sort of viewed what I was doing with Libertine as that, and I wanted to be very like sensual, very beautiful, very like embodied experience. So I wanted to give a name that evoked that as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like literally giving your mind like an experience that's just beyond just what you smell. You almost like get taken somewhere else. Like when you smell like a beautiful like bakery, and you're just like, I need to go on this journey. And ever since then, you're like, I know exactly how I got to that bakery.
Totally.
I just followed my nose, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. What has been your most, like your favorite part of your journey so far?
I mean, so from school, I started the business while I think I still had a year and a half left in school. So it was a very part-time thing. And I viewed the whole experience as a learning journey. I was still intending on graduating and becoming more, entering design, becoming a designer. So I always viewed it as a learning opportunity, as a way for me to kind of get practice in the real world, learning about business, learning about sort of all that it takes to get products out into the world and get things out into the world. For me, it's still, I guess, that sort of like creative storytelling aspect is my favorite part. I weave it through when I'm making scents, and then it really comes out, I think, in the sort of like marketing, branding portion of it. So I think it's just being able to take a story from the very start and sort of see how I can weave that into a product, and then tell that story to the world. And then when someone wears it, they also sort of, I guess, like embody that story a little bit. They get to take that and then work it into their own lives and see how it works for them, and kind of add their own layers of meaning into it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I see a lot of that on the Libertine Fragrance social media, is that just this beautiful kind of like montage of photos that get put together, and you almost have like this idea of what this moment could be like. Like you don't necessarily know what the fragrance is, but you see kind of the notes of it and the descriptions, and then you get to see like this movie-scape almost being told in photos, and that's just like such a beautiful way to like get to people and show them, rather than being able to just describe to them as well.
Yeah.
What have been your favorite types of scents to work with, and how did you find them?
So I tend towards I love a lot of different scents and different smells. In my lab, I've got hundreds of materials to work with, but I really love, I think especially maybe coming. But yeah, I mean, as I've been going also and just like learning how to make different things and how different perfume accords are made, I've gained a newfound appreciation for tons of different things. Like as soon as you learn all the effort that goes into something, it's easy to really appreciate appreciate that thing more deeply.
Oh yes,
yeah.
definitely.
So fruits have been my my like newfound appreciation. I didn't really like fruit notes in perfume, but now that I'm like really trying to make really delicious, like juicy fruit notes, I'm a sucker for them.
Like, what have been your favorite scents, and how did you like get to them? How did you find them?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I love all sorts of different kinds of scents. I have a few hundred different materials to work with in my lab, but I think, you know, maybe coming from a forestry background, I really love the sort of like deep, rich, woody scents, like deep, rich incense and like cedar wood, those types of things. But yeah, as I've been learning to make new perfume accords and trying different new experiments, I've been finding a newfound appreciation for all sorts of things.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What have been like your favorite like fruits that you've kind of tended towards in your collection that's here today?
So yeah, the fruits are a really interestingly like challenging thing to work on for a perfume, because there aren't any natural extracts that you can use. So they're all sort of like they're created. You create a perfume accord. So it's kind of a collection of things. So you're kind of making like a bit of a formula or recipe just to create the illusion of a fruit. So I don't have a ton. I have a fig scent. So it's got like a fig and fig leaf note, and then Smoked Bloom has an apricot note as well. But most of the things I've worked on have either been more floral or more kind of woody.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Is that more so just because of where you lean towards and the smells that you like?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, especially loving the woods, but also those, like all the floral notes do have natural essential oils or absolutes that you can just put directly into a scent. You can also make accords, which are basic mini formulas to help you kind of, if you want a rose that's more jammy versus more like sweet or kind of powdery, you can add different things in. But it's an easier place to start with the woods and florals, whereas fruits, you totally have to build it from the ground up. You can use all sorts of different things, but you have to kind of create the illusion of a fruit note, so it's a bit more challenging. So it's something that I'm like getting into now that I've had more experience.
Okay, so what was your very first type of scent that you mostly experimented with then? Yeah,
so I still am selling them. They're actually the two best sellers still, which is kind of funny. But so I have a jasmine scent, and then Softwoods is a woody scent. It's kind of a conifer, kind of like an Alberta Rockies boreal forest type of scent, but it does have some rose in it as well. So it's like a nice balanced sort of unisex scent.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So what has been kind of the drive for a unisex like brand?
Yeah, I mean, I think more and more, especially smaller brands like mine, are doing more of a unisex push. And I think it's just, you know, when I started, I guess I just like wasn't seeing myself. That was, again, the marketing thing. I wasn't really seeing myself in that kind of like, you know, more hyper masculinity or hyper femininity that a lot of brands are pushing when they're selling something that is meant for either gender. And I just really love the scent. I didn't care about making myself like this kind of, you know, more powerful version of myself or driving a fancy car. I really love the scent and where it takes you. So, so I didn't really care what, you know, who it was meant for or whatever. Like, it's more about when a person finds something that they really love, like I want them to feel comfortable to explore it and put it on their body and love it. So that was my driver to unisex.
Oh, that's awesome. And like, the thing is, when you walk in here, it's not extremely like in your face with a lot of the scents I've noticed.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like people might expect kind of like what you would expect when you walk into like a department store that has a lot of smells and fragrances, is that it just like hits you. But when you walk in here, it's kind of like, it's just nice, light, airy. There's not a lot in the air right now.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to kind of walk through. When you guys see it, there are different stations in here where you get to experience the scents. So that'll be really exciting. But before we get into that, because I'm too excited, what would you say has like been your most challenging? What's the most challenging thing about just building Libertine Fragrance itself?
Right. Yeah, I mean, so the company, I've been doing it for quite a while now. It's still mostly, I do have some help, and I'm very grateful for the few people I've been able to bring in kind of part-time or on more of a short-term basis, but it's still mostly me. So that means that I'm doing kind of all the things that I love along with all the things that I'm not quite as skilled at. So I mean, learning sort of more the back-end business stuff, a lot of the finance stuff is still something that, you know, from a creative mind, it's not my favorite thing. It's a bit of a challenge. I'm actually going through a rebrand right now. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so it'll be, in 2023, the name will change. There was just some, the way that I started, especially not planning on doing this full time, there's just getting trademarks in the States mostly has been an issue. So I realized that's a problem, and that was something that I didn't plan for. But yeah, it made sense just to figure out maybe like it's time to switch things up and time to move on to kind of bigger, brighter futures with this. So yeah, that's been very challenging, but also I think when it's done, it'll be very rewarding.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What would that entail then? Is that going to be like name changing as well?
The especially, so all the scents are staying the same, all the products are staying the same. I'm using it as an opportunity to change sort of the packaging and modernize the just sort of the brand identity and the look of things just a little bit. And then just the name of the brand will be changing. So, but everything within that I want to keep, for the people that love all the products and names as they are, and not to confuse, everything will stay the same, but I will be changing, just the name and the look of it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. I mean, if you have a favorite scent, if you already are a little bit of a consumer of Libertine Fragrance, then you don't have to worry about trying to figure out which one's mine now. Yeah,
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what has been the most challenging thing, especially during the pandemic, right? Because you've existed throughout the pandemic.
Yeah. And actually I left my sort of full-time, I was working for a period after school as a designer, and this was sort of a side thing still. And when I left that job and started doing this full time, it was maybe 6 months before the pandemic hit. So a lot of that first experience as this being my main job and sole source of income was during the pandemic. So it was a little anxiety provoking. I do have mostly an e-commerce based business though. So in a lot of ways things stayed kind of the same, and then it was interesting that so many people ended up finding themselves online just as a way of continuing to maintain contact with friends and family, and just keeping themselves in a good mental space by like investing in their interests and things. So actually found a lot of ways to kind of communicate with people more during the pandemic just because so many people were online. It was a little challenging just being kind of on my own and sort of speaking into a phone or into into the computer, but a lot of people were dealing with that as well. But it was nice to, on the other side of that, there were so many people that were hungry for interesting things. So I met a lot of cool people then as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool to see how the pandemic has kind of taken these people who are very creative, very expressive, and want to do that for the rest of their lives. And it's kind of just been like, you have to do this now. Let's go. And it's like, I don't want to, I'm not ready, but it's like, just do it. So it is really cool to see you go from, like when I was following Libertine Fragrance, I just understood it as like just a very aesthetically pleasing page. I just really wanted to look at a lot of the photos, and it was really interesting to see you kind of mix things up and put things together. And now to see that become like a reality in this space is just it's very cool. It's almost like a transformation in itself, even before your rebranding.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about like the sciencey part of it, so the chemistry?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, there is a lot. I didn't come from a chemistry background, so all of my kind of education on how to mix perfume and how it's all made is self-taught. There are a few organizations out there and lots of like little kind of Facebook group or blog places that you can find information. But the chemistry is basically like perfumes. All they are is a mix of different aromatic ingredients. I mix and then mixed into a solvent. I mix them into both like traditional perfumer's alcohol, so just like an alcohol base, like most perfumes you'd find at a department store or anything like that are that. And then I also do coconut oil based perfume oils as well. So I mean, really it's a lot about just trying to find, like, I guess my process for building a scent would be trying to find, I find a theme that I want to work around. I've been working currently around building kind of an orange blossom perfume.
Ooh, okay.
Which is like a really beautiful orange blossom sort of accord that I've built. So it includes a bunch of different aspects of the flower, how I want it to smell. Like I kind of pictured an environment, so I'm thinking kind of like Italian coast, sort of very like seaside. It's very like the air is very very damp and like, but everything's very warm. So I make up this imagery, and then you build out the scent, start picking materials. The problem with orange blossom as a material is it doesn't last very long. So you have to then find materials that will balance it out without then overwhelming that thing. So that's what I've been struggling with this one, is putting this, orange blossom front and center, and having it be really impactful and really beautiful, and having this very very alive orange blossom, but having it last more than a few hours has been a challenge. So trying to pair it with things that will extend down into the base of the perfume. Orange blossom and a lot of citrus type notes, they act as a top note. So that's a thing that usually very small molecules, small molecular weight. So they will evaporate really quickly. You'll spray it on your skin. They're very light molecules, so they will kind of evaporate into the atmosphere. And then so that can be anywhere from a few minutes to maybe half an hour. And then after that, you have heart notes in a perfume. And this is kind of where that orange blossom is sitting, but so it'll last for 2 to 4 hours. This is kind of like a lot of floral notes end up being heart notes. It's kind of like what the perfume ends up being about. But yeah, so the perfume currently is lasting in maybe the 3 to 4 hour mark. And then you get into base notes. So those are super heavy materials, kind of musk type materials, woods, just really dense things. And those take a really, really long time to evaporate off the body. So they anchor everything, they make the perfume last a really long time. So it's kind of always this balance back and forth between capturing the beauty of these really light, very vibrant materials, and then having something last long enough without sort of, I guess, like tamping down or kind of swallowing up all the light materials, making it like a dark, kind of heavy perfume. So yeah, that's what I've been doing right now. Yeah, and I mean, so that is really, like, I guess the art of perfume is a really like time-based medium. So you're kind of trying to make sure that something smells good right away, and then as these molecules are evaporating into the atmosphere, that it's still smelling how you want and it's lasting as long as you want. And then it's including things that are all kind of like safe and to put on the body and at certain concentrations, so you're not going to give anyone any sort of like allergies or anything like that. So.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. So I noticed that Libertine Fragrance has core values in community and care.
Yeah.
Can you kind of get into that a little bit as well?
Yeah. So and I guess as a segue from the sort of allergies care, I've broken into a couple different pillars. One being care for the planet, so sustainability, and then the other being care for the people that are wearing them. So I don't really there's a trend currently in beauty and in a lot of things, like in beauty there's like the clean beauty movement, and I have sort of mixed feelings. Like I think I don't say that Libertine is like a clean beauty brand, only because that term isn't really regulated, and I'm like,
it's kind of loose, right?
Yeah.
I've noticed that it can like, for some brands, clean means like the packaging is recyclable. And
exactly.
For some brands, the packaging is just sustainable in itself, or every so often there's an accessory that's biodegradable, which is beautiful, but it's hard to really pin down what it means for something to be clean.
Yeah, and in beauty, clean, it's often like about the ingredients that people are putting on. So some people mean clean by that they're all natural and they're sort of like not interested in synthetic materials. I do use both natural and synthetics, and mostly because natural essential oils, surprisingly, to a lot of people who haven't looked into it, contain tons of things that can be allergens to the skin. So you want to make sure that you are putting stuff on your body that is not going to cause a rash or cause any sort of dermatitis. So yeah, making sure. So I try to balance out both for sustainability reasons and for safety reasons, but I don't use clean because I think it's a too loose of a term. So I just make sure that I am following kind of all the regulations as strictly as possible and updating my products to make sure that they are within kind of the most, like, I guess, scientifically rigorous levels, that all the products are safe to put on the body and then as safe as possible for the environment. So as well, clean in the use of synthetics. There's a ton of ingredients in perfume that are really, really challenging to grow, and especially with climate change, certain environments have had a hard time sort of keeping up with demand. So with a lot of things, I find it a really easy choice just to use a synthetic alternative that is much less damaging to the planet. It's like kind of people are able to make it through another process, and then you're not having to use land for for harvesting this one crop, like things like sandalwood. Vanilla is another thing that the demand is way up, but the crops are really hard to keep in stock. So yeah, balancing out with using some materials that will give that effect, but are much less damaging for the plaza, or will allow those crops to regrow and kind of repopulate and get those back up to healthy levels. Yeah, and then I guess the other component would be the community side of things. So you know, I'm very much of the mind that businesses should be a part of the community and supporting the community where they are locally. So you know, it's a company of one, so I'm basically doing what I can through sort of sales initiatives. So I will divert a portion of sales every month to give back to different community organizations, whether that's locally or whether that's sort of nationally. A major institution that an NGO that I've given to most often over the past few years has been a group called Indie. So they provide bursaries and grants to Indigenous youth to help access secondary education and to get grants to get people into universities and colleges and things. So it's been a really great experience to give to them, and it's been really great to find people in the community that also have benefited from those. So yeah, just always trying to find ways of including kind of the greater community into Libertine and providing benefit to those people.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. I think that it's amazing that it's always going to be, like, in my opinion, I find that it's always the local businesses that want to give back to their communities immediately, because you know, your community is where you live. It's what you're part of, and being able to, you know, create that bridge with each other is just so important and wonderful, and even just to learn and grow together. Can you talk a little bit about, like, maybe even also the fragrance community and tell us what it's been like to kind of branch out with everyone there? Yeah,
I mean, it's an interesting, I was sort of as surprised as I think anyone might be to realize how large an online presence of fragrance lovers there are. And I think, you know, I think any sort of interest has that nowadays. But yeah, there's a very large and very diverse group of people online that love talking about scent, love talking about perfume. You know, I feel like I'm being educated by them all the time, because like I said, came into this more for the love of materials and just smells, rather than the love of perfume brands and these kind of classic scents that, you know, that these people grew up loving and like their parents wore and things. Yeah, I didn't have that pre-established kind of relationship with perfume. So yeah, it's a great time, I guess. Like, there's Facebook groups, there's TikTok channels, there's like online blogs, there's all sorts of different groups, and then there's even kind of like a lot of communities will have local meetups where people will meet and bring a ton of bottles that they're loving, and everyone can smell things and talk about scent. So I mean, it's, you know, it's been I think, like any community, like, it really interesting to see just the depth of people's passion and find out new things from them and be really inspired by kind of realizing what brings everyone else into this world. So yeah, especially, you know, I've been developing my love for perfume actually through running the business, and it's been so just enlightening and inspiring to meet these people that just absolutely like live and breathe perfume, and, you know, they just know so much. It's really cool.
Yeah, I personally wasn't really super knowledgeable about perfumes, because most of my experience is going to be with, like, the big box companies.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, what we see in ads, you know, you see the beautiful model or the beautiful actress or actor, and that's what they're wearing, and you want to be like that, right? There's always going to be that, like, beautiful imagery, right? It's gorgeous, all the work that goes into it is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as, you know, I was kind of looking at some of your fragrances, and they're so much more different, I find, and it is nice to see that it's something that's more tailored towards the person rather than the brand, if that makes sense. You know? Yeah,
there's, you know, like, I've been really excited to meet, I guess, then in the other side of the community aspect of it is there's so many, I guess, indie perfumers like myself. So I'd be like an independent perfumer is what that stands for. And the amount of people that are coming out with these sort of like, these brands, but it's just them, kind of just like mine. And it's so, you know, yeah, you're right. When you see perfume ads, there's kind of a style. But when these people are putting out work, you can really see the individual behind it.
Big time.
Yeah, so it's you know, you can tell it's the kind of the creative brainchild of this one person, and you really get to see kind of the world through their lens. And in that way, I think it's a lot closer to maybe like an art than a consumer product. You're getting, you know, their real vision of the world. And yeah, there's so many different cool brands that, you know, just their different style and the things that they're focusing on and why they're making each different perfume is super unique. Nothing like you've ever seen kind of, out at a big box store. And then, you know, the same for mine, like the things that inspire me to make each scent. You know, there's not one cohesive theme that ties it all together in terms of like these are all like scents of the forest or scents of the beach or anything like that. But you know, it's all things that have inspired me over the years. And I just want to express that and put that out in the world for other people to experience.
Yeah. It's definitely beautiful to see that these are all experiences. It's more than just a fragrance in a bottle. And I've kind of noticed even on your social media that when you're making something, it's literally being made with care. It's being made with like a consciousness that's very like purposeful, rather than someone. I'm not sure how big box perfumists make their things, but it's really nice to see the person doing what they're enjoying, what their passion is, and then also seeing some of your posts where you've kind of talked about just the sensory experience of being in a place and getting that kind of inspiration from that environment is beautiful, because not only are you sharing your experience with other people, but people are getting to kind of like put their own feeling towards that of like, oh yes, I actually was in that area and I got to have this beautiful vacation with someone, or I went on a little, you know, self-discovery weekend and just had a beautiful like interaction with nature, right? So it is really, really cool to see that come through your work.
Thank you.
And for me personally, it's just really exciting to see that. And I had no idea that indie perfumists existed in the first place. I don't know why I never thought that would be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a challenging industry. It's been a very secretive industry, I think, because they want to keep everything behind a curtain a bit. And you know, I think larger perfume brands, I think just like anything else that's manufactured on a larger scale, I think it's not as like it's a lot of big factories and kind of machinery that is doing a lot of the work. So it's not quite the romantic sort of craftsperson vibe that you get. But yeah, for all of these scents, it's me dropping droppers of things and filtering things in my studio here in the city. So yeah, it's a very hands-on process and definitely done with care.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see that happening. And then even just like for me, I'm sitting at the very back here, but it's just like, it's really cool to look at the installation in here and just kind of get that feel of like stone and like almost like raw looking materials, kind of surrounded by these like airy materials as well. And it's definitely an experience. You can tell I'm like antsy to like be like, take me to the front, let's go through this, because I love to smell things. And like growing up, I would always like sneeze a lot and just kind of like cough, and certain fragrances I can't handle. I just can't. But I've started to really figure out what I like to smell, and a lot of the natural scents are things that I really enjoy. So when you kind of mentioned like a rose can have different smells, whether it's jammy or powdery, that is really interesting to me, because it's like, for me, I'm like, a rose is just a rose, but when you can literally formulate it to be a different kind of rose, that's very interesting, especially being able to say that something smells juicy. It's like, I don't know how something smells juicy, but it makes sense, right? Especially. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about just, I guess, like interacting with like clients even, or customers who walk in, and how do they take all of this in? Yeah,
I mean, so I've been, as I said, mostly an online kind of e-commerce brand, so interacting with a lot of people online. It's challenging to get that experience. So yeah, I'm doing this pop-up here right now, and it's been a very cool experience to have people in person. You know, you can really, like, beyond what they're saying, like, you can see them, how they react, whether they, even if, you know, if they like something, if they don't like something, that's totally fine. Yeah, it's just like seeing people go from each station and being surprised by things, being, just like, I think, you know, as you're saying, having kind of an experience, your kind of perception of scent, and, you know, maybe thinking you did or didn't like things, and then being able to be surprised by things. I think that's the world of scent is very large, and I think that's surprising for people when they realize, oh, there is like different things going on out there. It does require some exploration, and then if you've had bad experiences or it's been a world that you don't care that much about, then it's easy to just ignore it. But I think the same is true for even like the food world, things like coffee and wine. Right now there's a lot more people becoming a lot more interested in the senses, really wanting to get kind of these like the tasting notes and things, and trying these really, really nice like locally roasted coffees, for example, and just trying a different way of experiencing things. So I mean, for here, like experiencing people in the space, getting their raw reaction kind of unfiltered has been really, really cool. And I think it feeds back to me, I think, as I'm now working on new products and seeing how people are experiencing things, and now trying to translate that and see how I can add some of that surprise into people's everyday lives that maybe might not be interested in, like, or they would maybe not assume that they would want to come down and smell things. So reaching out to those people that think they know what perfume is in a certain way and trying to surprise them. Oh yes, definitely. I mean, it's always going to be different when you try something that you're like, oh, I already know what this is going to be like. I already know because I've had this experience, I've had that experience. But then you try something completely different from someone else's lens. Whether it's literally viewing like your social media again, it's just like so aesthetically pleasing, and it's really nice to look at because you can almost like feel that coming through. So you feel that art, you feel that expression, and then you come here, and it's really hard not to run around here because I have to anchor myself because I want to know what everything smells like from the descriptions. In my head, I'm like, I know what jasmine smells like. I know what citrus smells like, but it's not the same. It's like, for me, I really do enjoy beer. But a citrusy beer is going to be different from brewery to brewery, right? Totally. The brewmaster is going to have a different idea of how that citrus wants to come through. Totally. And I'm really excited to see how like some of the woodsy scents that you're talking about come through, because I immediately think of like pine and just from being an Albertan and having lived in a small town before. Being surrounded by different types of trees. Birch is probably one of my favorite trees to smell. Also just love the feel of like the papery bark itself too. And then pine has been different for me for different regions of Alberta, where near the mountains, it smells almost salty, rocky, but then it has this beautiful pine, almost citrus smell to it. Absolutely. But then if you smell pine in a different part of Alberta, it's going to be completely different in itself because it's surrounded by so many different things as well. And I definitely noticed that in one of your reels where you're kind of taking like a nature walk. Right. And that was kind of, I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about how nice it is to like breathe in all of that, like breathe in all that nature, right? But it really does something for the senses, especially for the olfactory senses, right? And those are the senses that we use, especially when we're eating. Right? If something smells delicious, it's really hard to say it doesn't taste good. Absolutely. Or it's just really disappointing. But when you smell something that smells amazing and it tastes amazing, it's like your brain is done. Don't talk to me. I'm busy. That's it. So like perfume is definitely something that's like I wanna be around people that I don't sneeze when I'm around them. That's the thing. But I do really appreciate one of your values, your core values, where it's like something that's not going to be an allergen for people, right? And I wonder, like, how's that research been for you, trying to figure that out? I mean, so there's a body in Europe. Europe is kind of they do a lot for, I guess, like establishing different regulations, and they do a lot of the sort of like science work, and then those regulations end up being kind of the most I guess well established and scientifically based. So those kind of get established and kind of sent out everywhere else. That's just what everyone sort of follows. So there is an organization that does they're kind of constantly doing research on different materials and how they interact with the body. And then so every couple of years they'll put out a new standard that says like what amount of certain ingredients can be in a thing that, and that's all sorts of products. That's like lipstick, baby toys, like, you know, like chewing gum, anything like that. And perfume is one of them. So just what you can have in each product that is, you know, deemed safe. And then you have to make sure that, you know, essential oils are basically a large collection of about 100 different molecules. It's a bunch of different things that the plant produces, and then you distill it, and all of those things end up coming with the oil. So making sure that any of those allergens that are in there are also at kind of the right levels. But, you know, so it's especially like coming from a more design background, I've had to build some systems to make sure that I'm kind of keeping up with that. But now that I've done it, I actually really, really enjoy that process, and just being thorough with data and making sure that, checking all those things really, you know, and really dissecting all of my formulas is a part of the process that I've found I surprisingly enjoy. But it is a lot of work. So definitely a challenge, but well appreciated one.
Oh, that's awesome. So I am finally going to get the pleasure of taking you guys through this space, and Josh is going to guide us through every single station, which I'm very excited for. So we'll be right back in a couple minutes here. Thanks, guys.
And 3, 2, 1.
Hi, guys. We are back at the very front of Libertine Fragrance here. Kind of just wanted to highlight this beautiful installation and kind of give a shout out to
Tavish Zavera, my fiance, who is the interior designer for the space. The space came together. This is a pop-up, so we're here for another few weeks. It came together through Vignette's Art and Design Festival. So they pair interior designers in this year paired with businesses, and then contractors and artists to come together and build different spaces for the businesses to operate out of. So I was lucky enough to work with my fiance, and we created the whole concept really around the idea of sort of perfume being this sort of invisible but yet textural material product. So we wanted to play with as many different textures, light airiness, and kind of hard stone and all those things as possible. So very happy to work with her on the project.
Amazing. Yeah, it's such a beautiful space, and I have to shout out that social media because it is so good. Like, I definitely was sitting like on my phone thinking like I really want to just see this place just because it's just beautiful to look at.
Thank you.
I mean, just like it's almost like you have your own like little privacy to kind of just like experience the fragrance itself. But then at the same time, you're still kind of visible. I don't know how to even describe it. It's just a really interesting space to be in. It just has like a bit of like a earthy and airy feel at the same time. So it's just wonderful to see all the textures and kind of different elements that come together and just create this harmony here and really embody what Libertine Fragrance is, right? And then the lighting is just like an awesome little touch.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we love lighting, especially because we like to play video games, if you haven't noticed from our social media, with all the different colors.
Yeah.
But so Josh, would you mind just kind of taking us through your entire collection?
Absolutely.
Wherever you think we should start.
Yeah, we can start right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have 8 scents in the line. With these little, with the drapery and everything, we wanted to create a bit of a little, a bit of privacy and a bit of a world for people to enter into, so they feel like they are sort of secluded and they can take the time in the space that they need, but yet still have the space feel very open and airy. So that was, these curtains came from that. And you mentioned earlier that the space wasn't as like heavily scented as maybe you'd expected.
Not. It's really easy to just walk in here and it's neutral.
So I created a system to do that. So you can actually, if you squeeze these, the scent comes out of there. So instead of having to spray every time, so it's not every time someone comes in, they're spraying 8 different scents.
Yeah.
You just put your nose over and get a sniff, and you can smell the scent. But it's just the air from above the perfume, so it's not filling the room with actual perfume every time. So just to like get into some of them. So these, this side of the room I've got arranged more with woody, kind of warm notes, more spice notes, and then on the other side of the room it's more like fruit and floral notes. So this is Troubled Spirits. It is a sort of boozy amber perfume. So I say boozy, it's got a whiskey note in it. So it uses an oakwood absolute, which is like a natural material. It's the same wood that is used to, I guess, store whiskey in the oak barrels that it's stored in. So it gives that really kind of like woody but warm oakiness. The top notes on it, so those are those notes that when you spray in the body, they evaporate really quickly. So it's sort of the introduction to the perfume. The top notes with this are like an orange zest. So I was thinking again, like a cocktail drink. So there's some orange in it, but it's like, it's a really pithy, like the kind of white pith around the peel.
Oh, yes.
So it's a little bitter and very zesty. It's not like the juice of an orange. So orange peel, it's got a little bit of like a dried kind of fruit notes to it as well. And then in the heart, there's some rose, and then the oak wood, giving that kind of booziness and the kind of woodiness. And then in the base, patchouli, there's some kind of animalic notes, which in perfume, it's another thing that a lot of people maybe don't know about who aren't totally familiar. But there's a lot of notes in perfume. They used to be traditionally like actually animal sort of based. So musks were all from a musk deer. Now all those things are all vegan. They're all replaced with synthetics, but they give kind of like they can give all sorts of different things, but things that smell sort of bodily. It's a little weird to say. Yeah. It's a little weird. It like throws people off a little bit. But what they do is basically like, they make it feel very natural because they tie it to smells that kind of come from the body as well. And then they just like, if you add a little bit of a touch of something that's maybe a little kind of sweaty or a little stanky to a beautiful floral note, it gives a richness and a depth that it's sort of indescribable. And it's a thing that you really have to experience and get to know. But there's definitely animalic notes in perfume. So this does have a little bit of that in the base. But yeah, nice, warm, kind of boozy. It's a great wintertime scent. I think it's like Christmas around a fire, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Smell it. All right, I'm gonna smell it.
So yeah, just give that a squeeze.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of like a delicious old fashioned.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing. I like how kind of like it almost like has like a lot of depth to it. Mm-hmm. Like almost like a darker kind of scent. I almost feel like the old fashioned, like I feel like I just smelled an old fashioned where they lit the orange peel a little bit. Totally. So you get almost like a caramelized like sweetness.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's really nice, and I'm like, I want to wear that.
Thank you.
You know? I want to wear that for like a night out for a cocktail with like my friends and just have that smell
like
on
a dark candlelit bar somewhere.
Exactly,
totally. Yeah, it's very, very much that. Yeah, that kind of warm, deep, rich.
Yes.
Those tend to work really well in the winter, whereas like the nice, splashy, bright citrus scents are really great for more warmer weather. So
yeah, I was trying to figure out for myself like, how do you pick a perfume? Is that something that's like you pick your one and that's you forever, or seasonal, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean that's totally unique. It's as unique as as the individual, and there's lots of people that really love that kind of like signature scent. Mm-hmm. And I think with that you pick that scent that it feels like you stepping into it when you put it on. You feel like you're stepping into yourself, and I think there's a lot of people that do that. It's not really my thing. I love the expressiveness of perfume, being able to kind of experience and tell different stories through perfume. And obviously I make them, so I want to wear a lot of different things.
Yes.
So that could never be me, but I tend to wear things very seasonally, so I might totally wait until it's a little cooler to wear this. But a lot of people, they wear it by mood, they wear it by like how it makes them feel. It's really up to the person. So there's a ton of different ways to wear and pick your perfume, but I think just exploring and finding those ones that do speak to you is like the biggest first step.
Yeah, I mean, like this old fashioned is already calling my name, and it's really hard for me to tear away. But I guess we should continue here.
Let's continue, down the woody side of things. So this is Softwoods. It was one of the first that I created. especially coming from my forestry background, really, you know, I'd taken forestry, I was doing a lot of stuff out in northern Alberta, and then was in school for design when I started doing this. So I really wanted that way of getting like back out, romping around in the woods. So a lot of forestry scents tend to be more like kind of deep, dark, spooky woods. Like they're kind of like, you know, like where you might find like a witch's cabin or something,
God,
you know, that sort of thing. This is not that. This is like, you know, my view of the Canadian Rockies, like very bright. You know, it's that like sunlight hitting spruce and pine trees, and you do get that zesty, almost citrus kind of like lightness in the air. This has like some vegetation underneath, so there's a little bit of like kind of rose, there's a little bit of fruitiness that give a sense of kind of the whole forest. So yeah, it's more of like a bright, alive, celebratory conifer forest in the summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then there in the base notes, frankincense, which is just like, it's an incense note, but it has a lot of similarities to, it's a tree resin, so it has a lot of similarities to like a pine or a pine needle or pine resin. So that, again, that's another way of finding things. You have to find things that will carry through the perfume and can continue the theme of how that is smelling, even if it's not maybe necessarily like, you know, there's no frankincense in Alberta that's growing here, but yeah, that smells kind of, the olfactory profile is similar, so it helps to continue the perfume down as you're wearing it, so you get that same sparkle all the way through the perfume.
Okay, awesome. I got it.
Yeah, do you want to do a little?
Yes, I would love to. All right, here you go. Oh, that smells so pretty. That kind of, honestly, it smells like when you are driving out to the mountains with your friends or even just on your own, and you kind of want to get there like for first light, and as you're driving up and seeing the mountains, the sun's literally hitting you, because it's like there's almost like a spice to it, I guess, from the black pepper, right?
It's a crisp,
so there's like that really nice, like almost like sunshine, like a different type of sunshine.
Right.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Amazing.
That's a great description.
Thank you.
Yeah, so next, those, the softwoods, and then this one, sweetgrass, they're both very, I'd say, like sort of Alberta Canadian based. They're definitely more of a landscape inspired scent. So this would be more my ode to the prairies. So it's built on a traditional perfume family, the fougere, which is French for fern, which is like, it pairs things like lavender with coumarin or tonka bean, which is like it is a seed that creates kind of a nice, it's almost like vanilla, but it's like a seedy, kind of earthy vanilla scent. And it just creates this like very, almost like fresh hay in a field, that sort of thing. And then in the top notes, there is rosemary, so that kind of crisp, it also has almost like a piney smell a little bit, but yeah, but more in the spice realm. And then there is mimosa blossom, so it's like it's a tiny yellow flower. It's not found in Alberta, but it's just like this beautiful powdery yellow floral note that adds a lot of like light, and this otherwise would be a very more like masculine dad's cologne sort of vibe, but that mimosa brings a really like light and sweetness to it. Yeah, and it just, you know, I have Golden Sunshine listed in this one because it just smells to me like the kind of, driving through the prairies and canola fields and the sunshine baking those. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to. Oh, wow. Okay, I see what you mean where you're driving, literally driving through the fields kind of thing. Wow, that's lovely. Yeah,
it's very like pastoral, rolling hills and that sort of thing. Yeah, and this is also softwoods and sweetgrass were two of the three that I started with originally. So they've been around the longest, kind of the most inspired, I guess, by my like past experiences as in forestry and out in the Alberta landscape.
It definitely has that very like specifically environmental kind of scent where you're there, you're in the middle of the field itself.
Totally.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah. And then I guess more abstract was next in the line, and kind of the last of like the really heavily more like wood inspired or kind of in that realm is Gilded. So it is a more of an incense, spicy incense scent. My fiance drinks kind of like a like a minimalist chai, I'd say. So like a black tea with just like a cardamom pod and a like stick of cinnamon in it every morning.
That is such a good way to drink. Okay, so I'm half Indian, and I've been making chai since I was very, very little. And if you add that cardamom and a stick of cinnamon, you know what you're doing. She knows what she's doing.
So just she does no milk, just those, and then every morning. So I was really just like, I found these materials. It's a CO2 extraction versus an essential oil, so a little bit of a nerdy kind of difference. But an essential oil is basically anything that has been steam distilled. So you put it in a still with water, you heat it up, and then just the very volatile chemicals inside of it go up the still and pour down, and that's an essential oil. CO2 distillation is a little bit different, where you put it into like a liquid carbon dioxide thing, and that acts as a solvent, and it just washes over the things. And then when you I guess release that into the air, the CO2 is able to just turn into a gas and evaporate, but you end up with this paste that has a lot more of the actual plant material itself. So essential oils tend to be like very like zippy and bright and very, very top notes, whereas the CO2 is like, it is a cardamom pod, it is a cinnamon stick, it's so much the actual spice. So yeah, then paired it with a little bit of orange blossom for kind of like a nice floral touch, and then opopanax, which is a myrrh, and then just a bunch of other resins. There's frankincense in there as well, and kind of like a pale woods accord, I called it. It wasn't any particular wood, but it's more like dry, maybe like a driftwood, almost kind of woody scent, just to anchor things. But yeah, not evocative of any like exact place. This is the one I most recently came out with, so it's like the newest in the line. So still my baby as of yet, until whenever the next one comes out.
That's so cool. Okay, I have to. Oh, that smells pretty.
Yeah, it is. Well, like with that and Troubled Spirits, I think are the best kind of cooler weather. It's like a nice, warm, like puffy cloud a little bit. It's got kind of like this like haziness to it, but very, very warm with the spices. So it's like a nice contrast if you're out in the winter and it's cold. You get this like beautiful bouquet of spices to warm you up.
Oh, it's lovely, and I love the smell of spices. It's just like it kind of just reminds me of even just walking into the house and someone's making chai. Usually it's me, but it does have that really lovely scent to it, and I like that a lot.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, we can head over to the sort of floral side of things.
Yes.
So this one, the little puffer mechanism is actually out, so we can just do a classic scent strip of this. So this one is Fin de Siècle, so it's the only one named with French. It's actually named after an artistic movement. So the Fin de Siècle period in France, it was sort of like 1890s. This is when I was like in art history in school for design. I just I loved art history so much, and I was just nerding out on kind of this period in particular. So think like Oscar Wilde, Toulouse-Lautrec, like smoky absinthe-filled bars in Paris, kind of like the Moulin Rouge period. And it was a weird time where, there's so much kind of industrialization, there's so much like future-looking things happening, but with that, a lot of sort of worries about the future cropped up. So it's this like very exuberant sort of hedonistic time where everyone's partying, everyone's having like a wild time, but everyone's like a little, unsure of what the future will hold for them. So this was my kind of, I guess, like, I was inspired by that period. It's the most vintage of all of the scents in the line. It's like a very vintage style of perfume. So it's a chypre, which is French for cypress. So that is like a perfume style that's basically built on a contrast between this like very, very rich, kind of deep resinous resin materials, and then bright citrus materials in the top. So you get this like juicy top, and then very dark, kind of snarling base notes. So that is what this is. I'm using materials that are, instead of, like, it's got a lot of patchouli in it, which can be a very like thick, dense material. There's a lot going on, but I'm using material that is sort of like, it's just an extraction of patchouli. So it just takes like one molecule out of patchouli. So it gives patchouli, but it's very, very sheer. It's very like thinned out. So you don't get that same kind of vintage perfume feel. Like, it doesn't feel like kind of grandma's perfume sort of thing, but it is built around a similar style. So it's a very classic scent, but without that kind of classic experience.
It smells amazing.
Thank you.
I have to say, I absolutely love it. I loved it in the beginning, and I love it now as well. Like, it's just kind of, oh my gosh. I'm noticing like there's a black currant bud, right?
Yeah. So
I love black currant.
Totally. It gives like that. So that's what in this gives like a very like juicy tartness to the opening. It's got like kind of almost like a sour, but very like juicy, like makes your mouth pucker a little bit.
It does,
sort of sourness.
Yeah. Kind of makes me feel like if you were to add, there's this black currant liqueur that you can add to like champagne or a sparkling wine, and it is lovely. And it kind of makes
spritzer.
I'm like I could be literally just sitting in a patio. It's not too sunny, and I've got like a glass of champagne with a little black currant dropped in there, and just loving life.
Awesome.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh
Cool.
my gosh.
All right, and then moving on. So Sex and Jasmine. This one was the one that it would be the along with Sweetgrass and Softwoods, the one of the originals that I launched with. So as the name would indicate, very jasmine forward. Absolutely love jasmine flowers. They have like, I'd say a bit of a polarizing. Some people really love them. Some people have a harder time with them. And that is because jasmine is very, very high in what is known as a kind of chemical term like indoles, which is it's a chemical, it's like an organic compound that is actually found in anything that's decomposing. So it's again, that kind of like animalic side of things. Part of what makes jasmine so like heady and enveloping is this like these indoles that make it also smell a little bit like something is kind of I guess like the plant itself is dying. So you get that kind of like full range of life in every scent of jasmine, which is can be totally intoxicating. Some people have a bit of a hard time with it. So the notes in this. Not so much in those like citrus top notes, it's more straight floral. So jasmine, I'm using a night blooming jasmine. Sandalwood, it gives a very like creamy base. And then patchouli, and then also some vanilla for sweetness, and then ambergris, which is another one of those sort of like animalic materials. So it's not real ambergris. It's the stuff that like sperm whales produce by, they eat a bunch of cuttlefish, and then the cuttlefish kind of are abrasive on their insides. So they like puke it up in the ocean, and it floats around. So it's kind of a weird product, but so there's synthetic replacements. It gives like a really like saline quality to it, and it just makes it like sparkle on the skin. So definitely more like heady floral, very like just beautiful jasmine scent.
Oh wow, I gotta take a sniff of this. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. Wow. It literally smells like silk, like silky.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's
like
really nice. Like if it had a texture, it'd be really smooth and really satiny, silky.
Yeah, that's one thing that people maybe don't know, or I think like I'm an advocate for people getting out in the world and just smelling things, like crazy people maybe a little bit, like just stopping and smelling everything. But I think the thing that people have maybe a bit of a hard time with scent is that it's there's not really a language. Like we don't have as much language for scent as we do for texture of things, or for food, how things taste, all those other kind of like other senses. So in lieu of that, using all those terms are totally applicable to scent. So things can be very silky, things can be very like kind of dusty smelling, or like have kind of, there's a lot of texture in scent. There's a lot of like whether something feels hot or cool in your nose. And a lot of people, I think that's one of the first big steps to learning how to smell better and just getting more used to smelling, is learning all the different ways of describing things and just slowing down and kind of thinking like, what does this feel like? And not just what does it smell like, but what is it? Is it cool? Is it wet? Is it dry? All those things. So it's kind of it's another way of experiencing scent, and it's another way of just experiencing and tying together all your senses.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's very interesting. I think you made a post about this one as well that I thought was really, really just like really pretty, and it's just kind of like sheets and really nice light like clothing texture. Is just really, really cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So now to the kind of last two are the most sort of fruit based.
Okay.
So yeah, fig has not a very, like it's not like a classic perfume material, but the past 20 or 30 years, fig notes have become more popular. So you get kind of like a juicy fruit, but mixed with like a creamy greenness. So you get that kind of whole fig tree. There's that like that fig leaf is so important as well to kind of the experience. So yeah, fig notes are made by basically combining something, it's like a material that's very green, almost tomato leaf, kind of like that snappy, like that when you snap a leaf and you get that kind of sappy, like bitter smell, and then mixing with something creamy, almost coconutty. And then the combination of those two like somehow make this beautiful kind of fig scent, and then you can add things in to make it juicier or more like, more of like a sugary fig. So what I've, with this one, it's, I wanted to evoke basically this like sun-drenched picnic, midday, super hot underneath a fig tree, two people like maybe, chomping down on figs, or they're just snacking on all sorts of fruit. So you get that like really bright, warm sunlight warming up these shady leaves. So that contrast of warm and cool. And then as it works down, you get the kind of very like sweet sandalwood and benzoin, which is another resin that smells sort of vanilla-like. So a lot of fig scents tend to go a little like cooler. They're like the fresh kind of cool fig, but this one is very, very warm compared to other ones. So it's kind of a nice play of contrast, and that was how I chose to represent the fig tree.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh, that's nice. I really like that there's like a warmth and a sweetness to it. It kind of, honestly, okay, so I don't know why. It doesn't exactly smell like this food, but it like kind of reminds me of this dish that my auntie makes quite a bit, and it's a very spicy, warm dish, but all the vegetables in it are very sweet. So like sweet peas, sweet sweet potato, there'd be like some eggplant in there. So it's a lot of like all the sweetest vegetables without being fruit, and then all these spices in like a tomato base. So it just kind of makes me think of that warm spices, but there's just that sweetness that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, and that's, I love hearing people sort of like individual, what it calls back. Like scent is so strongly tied to memory, and it's like, you never know what a scent might bring you to, and it's, like I have my own thing that I put into it making it, but then when these scents go out into the world, it's like, it's totally up to the person who's wearing them to like find those associations. And I love it, especially if they're like not related at all to maybe like a scent thing, is more of a food thing, or it's more like a family member. It's always so cool to just see like where these scents take people.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's really interesting how the brain works. Like I've started kind of learning a little bit about like how people make core memories, and like the scent of something can just bring you back somewhere. And
Totally.
I love it, because sometimes it's something you don't even realize is a memory, and then it just feels so nice to, like, this doesn't necessarily smell like that dish, but some of like just the warmth, the spices, and the fruit really brings me to it.
Just the feeling of it, cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, and then so the last one in the line, I think this one's the most maybe like kind of warm weather kind of appropriate. It's the lightest, it's the most like kind of crisp. So this has apricot as well as a bunch of different, I think there's orange or blood orange, bergamot as well, so that like nice, crisp, kind of almost floral citrus. It has bay leaf, so you get that kind of like, just like, it's got a very interesting, that acts in the top notes as well. Most spices are kind of top notes, so you get that, nice, with this, I was kind of imagining, I guess, like the tropics. It's not a very like beachy scent, but it's more of like kind of inland in the tropics. So it's called Smoked Bloom. The smoke comes from the vetiver note. Vetiver is like a grass, but the what's distilled for perfume is the roots of it. So it's grown all over the world in different places, and each place that it's grown, it has like a totally different character, but it can range from kind of like almost like a very smoky, earthy, like almost burnt peanut sort of nuttiness to it, to then this like beautiful green, grassy, almost kind of saline, salty quality. beautiful note. It's one of my favorite things. And then mixed with sandalwood, it kind of balances the two. So you get this like creamy sandalwood, this like very creamy kind of base note, smooth wood with the vetiver. And then in the heart note of this is osmanthus. So like a Chinese flower that is almost somewhat similar to jasmine, a little tiny like white floral that they use to make tea. And it kind of gives the scent almost a little bit of a tea note, but it's got almost a cross between white floral, a little like leatheriness, but then apricot. So it's got this like nice, weird, interesting apricot, white floral. And then so apricot as well in the top notes. So a very juicy, juicy white floral mixed with this like smoky woodiness. Yeah, super crisp, very beautiful for summer. Yeah, I love it. I love it during this time of year.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. Wow, I really like that. It's like, it definitely makes me think of like going, again, coming back to almost going for an evening drink or something. Like I've had a cocktail with a bay leaf, like a crisp bay leaf on top. Kind of makes me think of that because it was like, I can't remember exactly, but it was like it might have been like a white peach of some sort. With like that bay leaf. So when you go to drink it, you kind of smell that bay leaf. And also, bay leaves are delicious, especially fried up. They're delicious. But that's a really interesting smell, and I really like that. Wow, everything smells very, very different here, right? So you're not getting the same fragrances. Yeah. They're all telling different stories. They're all kind of giving you a different experience at that point as well. Can you tell me what was the one that gave you the most remarkable? What was the biggest inspiration for one of them?
I mean, I guess I just kind of I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess just because they're all so personal to me that I have kind of different like reasons for being inspired by them. I think I guess softwoods and sweetgrass are both, because they kind of come from my forestry experience and they're more based on a place. I think those two probably have they're the most personal to me, whereas some of the other ones are like a bit more like ideas that I find interesting or just concepts that I think are worth kind of expressing or places that I wanted to explore in the world without necessarily going there. But yeah, I think maybe softwoods and sweetgrass are like the two that feel like the most like a part of me.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. And you mentioned like kind of building like an experience without having to go to that part of the world.
Yeah.
Like the one in the back, the French one you were saying.
The fin de siècle.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So like, have you been to France before?
I have not.
Kinda...
And I think that one even would be like going back to a different time too. So I mean, like, you know, it's not like a contemporary Parisian scent by any means. It's like what I picture when I imagine like France. I guess that's 120 years ago. So really like exploring all sorts of different places, like from kind of inside myself to you know, different time periods and places, and just things that I find capture my inspiration.
Especially the artwork that you were mentioning when you were doing that kind of study. Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of like walk through this space. And I mean, Gabby, if you just want to like follow me and just walk through, like even just walking down the middle here, right? We'll kind of just let him. You're walking down the middle, and here you see Josh. He's right. He's going to kind of guide you through this experience and kind of show you where you can go with it. Can you tell us a little bit about the products you have in the middle here?
So I also do just venturing into the world of sort of like home scent. So I have 3 different kinds of incense. They're all cone based. So like incense cones work the same as incense sticks. You just light them and blow them out, and they'll kind of smoke and smolder and fill your space with scent. They're all based on. I was doing like traditional wood-based incense for all of them, so different. So we have guaiac and bergamot. So guaiac is like a similar to Palo Santo. It's like a South American wood. It's got a very like creamy, almost mintiness to it. The next is hinoki and moss. So hinoki would be like a Japanese cedar, or sorry, rather a Japanese cypress wood. So yeah, very, very like crisp, very meditative. And then saffron and oud, so you get that more like kind of deep, rich, kind of dark oud scent. So just working into into different home scents. I'm looking to eventually launch a couple candles. Candles are uniquely challenging to formulate for. So yeah, still working on those. And then I also sell sample sets. So those are 2 ml of all of the different scents. So you kind of can get a tour of the entire Libertine world. And then all of the scents, they come in, the bottles on the stand are eau de parfums, alcohol-based, and then these bottles are all perfume oils. So they're mixed with a liquid coconut oil. They're beautiful, nice and hydrating for the body, but they also, the coconut oil doesn't evaporate as readily off the bottle, so you get like a much more intimate experience. If you want a scent that holds closer, it's maybe just for you or just for you and someone close to you, but it's not for the whole room, then the perfume oils are totally the way to go. So you get kind of like a range of experiences that you can pick up.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I never thought about it as like using a different almost like material to keep it personal or let it kind of like flow from you. That's very interesting. And then you kind of mentioned like an eau de parfum. Like I wonder, like I'm wondering, like I've always wondered, what are the differences between like an eau de parfum, eau de toilette? Like what do those things mean? Yeah,
so that is basically just the concentration, the amount of smelly stuff, aromatic material, versus the amount of alcohol. So I believe eau de cologne is the lowest concentration.
Okay.
So I think that's approximately 3 to 7% aromatic material. Eau de toilette would be the next up, so you're getting closer to that 10 to 12% aromatic material. So just as you go up in concentration, the scents tend to get richer, more deep usually. They can last longer. Eau de colognes are particularly, they'll usually be things like citrus notes. They're meant for hot weather, so you just splash them on. They don't last very long, but they're meant to just be like a beautifully refreshing kind of after the shower sort of thing. So you're meant to reapply them. And then eau de parfum, and there's also like eau de extrait and a couple, like there's one more that I can't remember the name of, but they get up to like anywhere up to like 25 to 50% perfume material. So they can be very, very heavy, very rich, very opulent. So those will be a lot of the times like, especially those classic fragrances that are very kind of very opulent, very like this very complex, there's lots going on. Those will especially be done in that kind of deeper, richer concentration. Some brands will sell different versions. They'll have an eau de toilette and an eau de parfum of different scents. So that usually they'll kind of adjust the formula as well, but usually the eau de parfum will just be a slightly deeper, slightly richer version. So whereas I have the perfume oils and the eau de parfums, that's how they will kind of do a, like if you want something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more airy, or if you want something deeper, you'd go for the eau de parfum.
Okay, I see. And so for people who are, let's say, just kind of newly exploring perfumes and scents, what would you kind of recommend to them for, I guess, scent-wise or even just medium style?
I mean, like I think that is, most things that you'll find are eau de parfums in alcohol or eau de toilette in alcohol. I think, my biggest thing that I would say to people going out to get into the world of fragrance, to try to find their signature scent or just explore a bunch of different fragrance houses. You can do research online, but I would say always sample. So basically everywhere, all houses will sell or offer samples in some way. And the cost of sampling a house and sampling a bunch of different perfume houses, just the amount of different scent experiences that you get is, you may pay a little bit upfront, but you get, you can be rest assured that you find the scent that is perfect for you, instead of trying to buy a few different bottles and then realizing after a few wears that it wasn't quite maybe what you were hoping for, and then being sort of stuck with them.
No, definitely.
Yeah, and then also if you go to places like a Sephora or something, someplace in store, it's great to test in store, but you don't really get that time.
No, not really.
Yeah,
it's
so you want
a little harder, right? I mean, like here we were able to really like go through everything slowly. I mean, this whole beautiful installation is built in a way that's very like to you. Like I want to go into the screen and I can just spend my time in that screen, right? And I think it's wonderful because if someone else were to be around me, I mean, for me personally, I get a little worried that I'm taking too long or I'm getting in someone's way, but here it's kind of like I get to be in this space and someone sees that and can probably venture somewhere else. and it's a tailored experience in that way.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, again, like when you walk in, it's not heavily scented in here, so you get to really kind of reset between senses and really get that full rich experience of something. Because I find that when I spray something on myself, it's going to smell different than if I were to if it were like something like this where it's breathable.
Totally.
Versus like freshly sprayed. And I kind of feel like you get a better idea of what it's supposed to smell like, right?
I think both are important. I think, but smelling it just kind of in how we have it set up here is a beautiful introduction. And then if it's something, it's almost like dating a little bit. Like if it's like, if you like the scent, if you want it to get to know it a little better, you can apply it. All the bottles here are testers. Or if you want samples to try the whole line, then you get that time and you can kind of get to know how it lasts throughout the whole day, or if you like it for more like an evening cocktail thing, or if you want it for more like like an at work, kind of just like a nice little spritz to make yourself like feel put together, that sort of thing. So you kind of just like get to know things slowly and find that like perfect scent.
Yeah. So one question that I've actually really thought about a long time, because I've always wondered if this was a thing or not. Do these formulas change depending on like your skin or your body chemistry? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the most interesting and maybe a little like the most frustrating part of making perfume, is that it'll be different on everyone, and that's sort of why sampling is so important. Some people, it's based on a ton of different things. It's kind of like skin pH and your own diet can change things, or how heavily moisturized. If you've moisturized, that changes things. So all sorts of different factors, but it can change things. So it's just important to like both smell things as they are and then try it on and make sure, this still fits, it still smells like I want it to. I had a woman come in that she said everything that she tries on, like her body just adds a little bit of cinnamon to everything.
Oh, wow.
It was strange. So like she tried on a few things and she was like, see, like every time it turns out to, and wow. She tried on a couple different things and there's just a little, so it's just something she has to work with and she knows that at least, so she can find scents that work with that.
Okay, yeah. I've always wondered that because it's something that like my dad really loves the smell of perfumes and colognes. So he has his own little collection. Right. And I have accidentally acquired my own small collection of just like all these different scents, whether they're gifted to me. I mean, I have bottles from when I was in high school, and one of my girlfriends was like, I just got this for you because I noticed you don't wear anything, and everyone else, all the men, are bathing themselves in certain type of body spray that shall not be named in this space, right? So it was just really cool to start acquiring a collection and seeing how that changes. But it is very different when you try something that is like an indie perfumist making something that's very much an experience. It's more than just, well, I'm at this level of success, I might as well put out a scent,
this
right?
Thing,
But yes, this is wonderful. So really quickly before we wrap things up, can you let us know, number one, where people can find you for social media, website, and then also kind of tell people how to find you at this location and how long you're here for?
Yeah. So Libertine Fragrance is, I guess, all the sort of social media handles, and then libertinefragrance.com is my website. We do a lot of sample sales, so if you're outside of Edmonton and want to get samples, they ship free, so it's easy to just get samples set and you can experience everything at home. The pop-up here, it's on for just another couple weeks, so basically the start of August it'll be shut down, but and then we'll move to just back to mostly online and then doing the occasional pop-up. So if you follow online on Instagram or any of the other platforms, we'll have all the information for anything we are doing, any events in the city.
Okay, awesome. And do you do a lot of pop-ups throughout the year, or is it mainly just like you find a space and you stay there for a while?
No, I usually have done way more short-term sort of things. So it'll be things with other different businesses, or if there's other businesses that are hosting kind of single day or weekend pop-up sales. Those are the things that I'll have done in the past, and usually we'll do a couple of those a year. So awesome. And do just in case people don't make it out to this space, which you should, because
this creativeness is just, it's gorgeous to experience. It's a very different vibe being able to be in it. So you have to come down here and check it out. But are there any other physical places where people can check out your perfumes as well?
Yeah, there's I work with a number of other retailers as well that carry the line. So I think the best place would just be to go to my website. If you go, I have a stockist map, and you can just look on the map all across Canada and the US. I have different stockists carrying it. So I think I have about 50 or 60 stores, all small boutiques, all independently owned, really beautiful little stores that carry across North America. So that would be the best place to check out to see if there's something near you that you can go smell in person as well.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Josh, for your time. Thank you for taking us through the space and really quite literally educating us on the world of perfume and the chemistry behind it and the experiences behind it. It's been wonderful. So thank you guys for watching. This has been RNG in the 780, and I'm gonna go shopping.